effectively in that mid lane doesn't provide the same tempo.
I also would just love to point out how interesting and how much the drafts change over the international. At the beginning of it, we have first pick, Treants and Banes and sort of normal heroes we see. And now at the end, there is a first pick Slark. I think that evolution of Dota and how the meta changes and the counter picking, the creativity from the teams, I think is such a fascinating part to see that, that journey that the draft goes through.
We also talked about how impactful the supports have been coming into this series. For me, especially, I think about Rue, not me. And if you look at the bans that Vision decided to go with, as Mira points out, all the cores are in the pool. Why is that? Well, because you have some of the best support players in the world, and they're forcing out these bans.
Wow.
Yeah, and IO being led through, because it goes back to what you were referencing here, Quinn, where there is this massive cycle that is happening where IO wasn't looked at the start of our TI. It wasn't looked at in the group stages. It hit a peak where everyone was first phase banning it. You might be able to call the bluff of some teams, but ultimately you are afraid of what it can do either as a mid or a carry hero.
Yeah, and it's a hero that Spirit does not really touch. We haven't really seen Vision play as a core either, but they're pulling it out of the hat saying, hey, we've got this extra trump card up our sleeve that now you need to have answers for, because it's a hero we've seen when played well on core be borderline unbeatable. The question is, can Vision actually execute it to the level that maybe some of these other teams that have not fallen by the wayside can?
It's quite heads up of them to take it though, because while Spirit haven't run it, it would have been an excellent thing to combo with the Slark. And we have to mention, 9 Class was playing position 4 IO for the last 2 months. While the hero did shift in priority to core and looks better as a core, this is still one of their more comfortable strategies if they flex it to support. And he's a greedy 4 IO player. He's not like GH playing the enabling role. He's farming those 2 camps, he's max leveling Wisps, and he's taking as much gold as he can.
I also see a lot of the traditional heroes that you would want to play against the IO be banned out. You see Underlord, very good percentage damage, good roots, has a way to counter the relocate, he relocates in, you can gate in. Nowadays the gate also has the root on top of it, so it's a tricky matchup for the IO. Same thing with the Doom, stops all healing. One of the drawbacks to IO is that you have no stuns, so Bane is quite effective, it's easy to get Fiend's Grip off, and the same thing for the Winter Wyvern with a curse on the relocate.
Yeah, I think this is definitely something planned. It's something they said, hey, we're going to consider this for second phase. We'll look at the first phase, see how it goes, and then potentially we can alter our bans, get out the Doom and the Underlord, and then we get what we deem to be a free IO in the second phase. And this is very much not something I think Spirit necessarily would have expected, because they haven't prioritized it up till this point. And so they need to respond on the fly, right? All your prep, some of it's out the window now. You're flying by the seat of your pants.
Wow.
And I think that's a testament to it. Disruptor is a classic combo to IO. You press the relocate, but you get glimpse right back out, and it removes a lot of this early snowballing potential that IO has, where he can get involved in these kills, explode his GPM, and get online super quickly.
A brand new hero at the TI Grand Finals. I love this so much. They've thought about this. They've gone through every single scenario, and at the end of the day, it's not necessarily a hero people have full faith in, but on paper and on execution, it should be able to give Spirit that slight advantage.
I am so curious to see how this will unfold, because Disruptor isn't in the strongest state that he's been, but he does make a lot of sense, not just with the IO, but with the Slark. For a mid Slark to set tempo, he needs supports that can play on his night vision, and if you pair up the Glimpse with the Slark just de-warding, positioning his body aggressively, the amount of kills that can be developed by Team Spirit are going to be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes sense, right? I think one of the things that Spirit has managed to do throughout the last stages of this tournament is to find heroes that are picked with purpose. The hero has clearly a reason to be in this game. It's good against the IO, it's even good against the Ember in many ways. You get any sort of stun on the Ember, you get the static storm on top of it, and he just dies. And against Mirana, she wants to leap away. And we've seen problems in this patch where these Miranas, like GH was playing, it was like 9-1 and 17, because you just can't kill him. But with Glimpse, that suddenly becomes very easy.
Yeah, it's the way Team Spirit drafts. They see what you have, and they respond to it on a theoretical level. They're not trying to pick the same stuff every game. They're trying to pick what makes sense if everyone was playing perfect. And I think that's such a cool and interesting way of drafting. But there definitely is, the risk when picking Disruptor that the hero is just not that good right now. It's a great game for it, but you're walking into late against Axe. The hero's going to be pressing Battle Hunger on you off cooldown, and there is that burden of execution. Disruptor wants to play from ahead. He hates playing from behind. You have to chase people to be able to use Glimpse and actually have it be effective, so there's a risk in lanes.
Yeah, the game can get out of hand really quickly for a Disruptor on the losing team. When we look at Team Vision, we see the main combination in their draft in the slight change into arrow. This is going to be how they're going to play through the mid game, and Dark Willow and Disruptor as supports are very susceptible to dying to this combination. They have no means of defending themselves. There really is no counterplay outside of being the aggressor yourselves on Team Spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. Another cool factor about Vision's draft is like, where is any of these heroes going? We still don't know. Is this a position for Ember potentially? Is this IO going to be a 4? They have a lot of ability to adapt their entire draft with this last pick. And I think Spirit, like we said, they like to conceptually beat what you're setting up for. And by putting themselves in this position where we're just not going to tell you what our draft wants to do at the end of the day, gives them that advantage. And I think it doesn't allow Spirit to have that edge that they've had in all the other drafts leading up to this grand final.
On top of that, it also makes your last bands very cloudy because you don't know where these roles are going. It's much easier to miss on those last bands, which you would typically want to be very accurate and take out some key heroes that could be game-winning picks, counter picks against your draft. Well, you don't really know what those are anymore. You can see them banning the Kez, so they're definitely considering this being a support IO.
I mean, that's the only thing we've seen from Vision throughout the year, right? I don't think we've seen a Satanic IO. It's been 9 class, it's been his signature.
Could it still not be a mid IO though, and the Ember 4 that you guys were talking about, which is why they're doubling down that if that's what they want to go, at least Satanic won't get something that he's popped off on and felt comfortable with?
That's definitely possible, and I think they're trying to cover their bases because they're not entirely sure. No one is, besides the 6 people in that Vision booth. Nobody knows what the plan is with this IO. Is pre-concocted for this game when we're going to surprise them. We're going to get off the jump in the right way, and so we just don't know yet.
I mean, I think even for Vision, right, you have the option of like, because I think they're kind of team that will try to do everything they possibly can to get the setup correct from the start. So depending on what they feel like is, do we want a Satanic hero here? Does Satanic just play the IO? It looks like he's pretty quiet, so I'm leaning towards him potentially being the IO and it being a new mid pick.
Yeah, you often can gauge who's picking the hero just by who's talking the most near the end of the draft, and I agree with that rationale. I also think I've seen him play it in pubs. I've played against his IO in pubs, and so it is something that he has practiced. He's not incapable of doing. It's not completely blind, even though it may be new to officials. And they're gonna tank the mid matchup, so no one's saying, I picked the Ember, it's fine, I can deal with the Slark. We've seen many mid players this tournament say that, and they cannot deal with the Slark, and so no one will have to prove it. If he's different from the rest, if he's cut from a different cloth.
And Centaur is still in the pool. Like, now that you see this IO carry, you can just play for wave drive, just farm on the Centaur, and just provide the stun for your team. And one ignored this draft.
Yeah, it's solid. It's a hero that will really never be bad. It's just solid in lane, gives you that is a scary lane. Axe Hoodwink, that is a lot of early potential, a lot of kill threat.
Undying, oh, cool. Okay, I mean, I love the concept of just running at this carry IO with Decay non-stop as the offlane Undying and just trying to make it... Oh, it's mid-IO!
They actually swapped. Really?
It's a Satanic Ember.
Wow. So then how is an Ember Undying lane when you don't get to just run at an IO now?
I honestly think this Undying is going to absolutely cause issues for this Ember. It is a really tricky lane. Ember on safe lane is already not quite as powerful as it is in mid. You don't get the bottle refills, you don't have that constant sustain coming out, and Undying creates a lot of pressure. And on top of that, there's a Dark Widow there. He doesn't really have nice escape mechanics. The support in Mirana doesn't super help him out in that regard either. So I think for Spirit, this ends up looking quite scary.
It's also a situation, Vision, I think they're not going to be super comfortable on. Satanic, I'm sure he's capable of playing Ember, but it's certainly not his bread and butter, and same thing with no one on IO. So you're walking into the first game of the TI Finals, there's pressure, there's nerves, there's the weight of trying to lift the Aegis, and now you're on something that you're not quite used to. That can affect your gameplay in very negative ways.
I would say it goes both ways, though, in their defense, because I don't think Laurel is, like, the happiest Slark player, and I would imagine this mid lane, IO is going to absolutely free farm. Slark doesn't really have a way to pressure, so this is going to be a free farming IO in the mid lane, and so for both teams, and this is something special about Grand Finals, right, they both understand each other so well that they've managed to take both sides out of their comfort zone.
But that is where Spirit should depend on their side lanes. They've got SF on one side, they've got Core Undying on the other side, 2 with very good lanes. How far can they take them?
Look, Vision held their cards close to their chest for that whole draft, and at the end we got a mid-IO and a carry Ember Spirit, and if only there were a way in which we could get into their minds and understand more of their thinking. Well, we can't do that. It's Tsunami and Puppey.
Thank you, yes, I am joined by Coach of a Vision, Puppey. Welcome back to TI Grand Finals, my man. And, I mean, no disrespect when I say this, but after the past few years of your Dota career, were you ever wondering if you would be able to make it back here?
I thought I would be here if I just had a better team, maybe. That's it.
So you're just like all my pub teammates then?
Yeah, again, teammates. No, I mean it was a rough time. Maybe I needed a vacation. Maybe I needed something. But overall, I always thought that I know how to play Dota, or at least I know how to win Dota.
You have proven that time and time again, and now you're ready to prove it in a best of 5. And in a best of 5, I'm wondering, how do you approach banning and drafting? Do you get to give yourself more of a leash because you're like, well, I'm not going to get eliminated after 2 games of experimentation?
Yeah, but this is not necessarily an experiment. This is something we've tried. So if it works, it's great. If it doesn't, well, we tried it. We did.
And the this that I'm assuming you're referring to is no one on IO. He has 0 competitive games on this hero, and you're debuting it now at TI Grand Finals.
That's what TI is for.
And also what TI is for is watching the games. Puppy, thank you very much for the interview as we send it to game number 1.
Thank you very much there, Tsunami and Puppy. Indeed, it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to get into the grand finals here of the International 2026. Team Spirit up against Team Vision. Folks, everybody around the world, they're just so excited to see these two teams play. Now we're getting them going head-to-head in this best of 5 for the Ages of Champions. You couldn't ask for anything more.
The question is, what do we start to talk about, right? There's storylines, there's incredible different type of style hero picks, there's new heroes being picked in the grand finals.
We've got a disruptor.
I mean, I don't even know where to begin, right? So, yeah, Vision, changing things up quite a bit here. Spirit with more, you can just look at it, right? A bit more of a normal approach, heavy team fight, strong carry pick. We have to talk about, you know, the young prodigy of Satanic playing something different on a
Very different.
While Yotoro, the legend carry himself, playing something much more standard. I don't know where to even start.
Yeah, I mean, how is that matchup going to go down? We're going to look forward to the clashes when it inevitably gets to the point where these two carries are going to have to meet head-to-head. But, yeah, a confident move here from Team Vision, and a risky one. You know, Puppy said, game 1, trying something different. It's TI, it's the time, apparently, to try something a little new in game 1 of the Grand Finals. I'm all for it, and I'm not surprised. I'm sure as this Grand Finals goes on, we're going to see both teams bring out some strategies that we're yet to see in the entire tournament. We're already getting here in this first game from them.
So Satanic playing the side lane Ember. I think we've seen one of these side lane Embers have success. I think it was Sumail in one of the games we did.
He did win a game, but out.
Good. But that was it.
Yeah.
All the other side lane Embers, they've had a pretty horrible start to the game, especially when they're into these Slarks, and into quite a bit of counter picks too, right?
Oh, for
it's
sure.
not just the Slark, this Disruptor pick as well, the Willow pick too. Willow is a problematic hero for a lot of these spirits in the mid game, so we'll see how they do endure.
It's
mid lane though, let's see, because I haven't seen these Slarks lose the lane and get pressured super hard, so I'm wondering how he's going to do if he does get set behind too much versus the IO as well. So approaches, Spirit, as we said, much more of a normal type of strategy, lots of team fight coming together, while for the side of Vision, this is an incredibly strong skirmish draft with high mobility that can punish a bit of more of a kind of greedy type of draft, I guess you could say.
Or Satanic! It's not going to be an easy lane for him. It's early days, Fog, but I've got concerns. Ember safe lane has looked so shaky in the majority of games that we've seen it tried, and it's just one of those things that conceptually has never been good, Fog. We've never seen a meta where Ember safe lane's been the thing. We'll see bottom lane route. It's going to end up ticking out here to the damage from 9 class notice, so Vision will be able to get themselves a kill down on the other side of the map, but it's a huge risk. And obviously Vision, they've got their star player, the prodigy on this. It's so much pressure for Satanic, you know, to be put on his shoulders here in game 1 of the Grand Finals.
100%. And this game, right, you look at the Flame Guard, yes, he'll be able to farm with it, but they have lots of ways to be able to break through with the SF, with the raises, either with the Soul Rip. They have so many different answers. It does feel, oh, and I'm looking at the mid lane. This lock's doing pretty damn good. 11-7, 11-1 at the moment.
I gotta say, I think this is a little bit better than he should be getting away with. This is, in this matchup, they make the switch up, obviously, to take the Ember away from the Slark, but you'd imagine they would ideally do that in a situation where the Slark would suffer mid, and yeah, as you can see on the numbers, he's not suffering at all here, Lal.
At the least, it isn't an Ember that has 2 well, he still has very low last hits, but we've seen a lot of these mid matchups with the Ember, where the Ember has like 2 last hits to 15 of the Slark, so at least there's that, but yeah, I'm just watching the Slark walk up, steal the regen of the IO with his, with the Shiv. So he's getting quite a lot out of it versus that bottle, versus the Tango regen that's coming in from a high regen here.
Not me. Making it look easy on this top lane. Having to just chase down Ducalis solo and finish off the kill completely on his own.
Oh, and this does look like one of those games where it's one of the best Willow games. I think I've seen it. You're playing versus Ember, you're playing versus Mirana as well. It is a fantastic game just to have these Brambles.
And in terms of the Spirit duo as a whole, right, the fact that we're on this Disruptor, we don't see it really at all, but this game, you're seeing a lot of potential for a Disruptor.
Absolutely. Great ways to catch versus the Ember. You're a great counter pick versus Satanic again.
It's a lot of damage. He's going to get chased down. Will
Nice
touch the
dodge.
Shadow Realm hit. There's going to be another decay in a second here with the stick charges. Doesn't matter. He's still going to live, Satanic, but kept incredibly low and barely finding farm from this top lane. Bottom of the course right now. It's going to be such a tough early game here for Satanic.
And a lot of the games for Vision too, we mentioned the power of Ducalis plus Satanic, what they're able to get out of the lane, what they're able to punish the opposing lane with. This is just a lane that cannot win. So trying to get as much as they can out of it, but yeah, Satanic being brought super low over and over again. The decay on the Ember also, it's pretty devastating when you have this much damage from a hero like Willow. Ducalis, careful.
It's going to be alright, but again, relatively so. Super low HP here on Ducalis, completely out of regen.
Oh, and they're free farming all three lanes right now. Yatoro now at this point, he's given the lane for free. They have to actually move Noticed away. They don't want to be playing versus that Shadow Fiend, so movements are coming in from both sides. 9 class in mid, looking for Laurel.
They really need this kill. They've got to try and punish this Slark somehow, because so far, Lal to be top 2 CS here in a matchup where Vision had the chance to switch things up and try and force this Slark into a less favorable position. It just hasn't happened. Lal, he's loving the laning stage.
And Spirit overall, right? If they win the laning phase, very strong team fight prowess and good Vision heroes as well too. We don't see it picked as much, because the Disruptor isn't picked as much, but Slark with the Night Vision, Undying Tombstone gives great vision. You're gonna get these glimpses off if you're ahead, and no one...
The other tethered across the 9 class. Nice pushback does catch on to the both of them. Ducalis here as well to help out. No one. He's got a TP back to base though to refuel.
It's a pretty fantastic start for Spirit here. Yatoro has run away with these games when he's been given this space on the Shadow Fiend. He's gonna have a lot of that space in this game,
and look
just from the way these lanes are.
Extra pressure being brought into the top lane. Rue ready to join.
They're looking for collapse.
Gonna get the Soul Rip heal off. Good damage with the Acorn shot. They'll bring him down. If they can get the chance to finish up another Thunderstrike on it, Ducalis will allow Rue to take the Mirana out.
Nami.
See Nami getting chased down by 9 class. A few more right clicks should do it. Try and hide around the trees, but 9 class will find him.
But it will be a trade.
Yeah, Rue's gonna have to glimpse into another Thunderstrike soon if necessary. Shouldn't be. The creeps and a right click will do the job. So Spirit, bring attention top. Same to be said though for Vision. Still overall, Spirit coming out on top of these trades.
But I like the movement, to be honest with you, from Vision. I think this was super clever, just breaking the lanes, moving the supports to help the Ember. The Io is ahead of the Slark now at this point, and they're not that far behind on the Ember Spirit, all things considered.
Yes.
He's 500 behind the Shadow Fiend, so as a side lane Ember, you know what? Not too shabby with these type of moves that we've seen them make.
Look at this early move from Yatoro. Not normally a place you expect to see the carry here stepping up.
9 class.
The tier 2 9 class is going to be massively surprised by the fact that there's a safe lane SF here behind the tier 1 mid with 6 minutes in.
And here the catch, the glimpse. Is it enough? No one has a regen running.
Yatoro's stepping up. He's going to be able to line up a couple of raises. Won't be enough, but still a massive aggression here from Yatoro. Making moves this deep pre-7 minutes.
Wisdom Rune, are they going to end up having to sack it, though? We do see the positioning here in front Vision. There's a Tombstone on high ground.
This might be hard for Ducalis and Satanic to battle.
He sees it. He can hit it up
Yeah,
on the
but
high ground.
Ducalis might get taken out first. Collapse turns towards him. Ducalis
The Torrent!
dead. No one will come over to help out. So they'll at least make sure they get the kill in return and will manage to take away that Wisdom.
So that's, when you do make these type of moves, Yatoro wants to go for the mid lane. They don't have the Slark going toward the left side. They get outnumbered. They will have to give up that double shrine there, which is very important, as we said, for Vision, being able to get this. And it's Satanic who gets it too. So he is a side lane Ember, but gets that big bonus of levels that is pretty necessary.
And that's huge. He needs everything he can get here out of this laning stage. Satanic
Trading.
we get caught by the glimpse. And here's still pre-level 6. It's a bit tough. He'll get the chains off once it collapse. Managed to hide in the trees. He'll get away for now, Satanic.
Didn't have the mana for the kinetic field there on Rue. Just a bit lacking on it, so won't be able to get that follow-up catch. Yatoro, though, getting this crazy amount of free farm on a much more normal carry hero. We just have to keep referencing that, right? Satanic, sure, he has played quite a bit of Ember in the past, but let's see how it's going to end up matching up in this game. I see he's queuing up the Mage Slayer.
I like the build. We saw some alternative ways tried, right, with the safe lane Ember. I think what we have Mickey going for like an Urn into Radiance build. Didn't work out. We're actually seeing Satanic still considering options
Switching
here,
it up.
queuing up the Kaya and such. Definitely would help in terms of just kind of speeding up the farm, allowing him to stay out on the map a little longer with the mana. So yeah, it's probably one of those situations he hasn't been in a lot, considering what to buy as the carry Ember. So it's going to be very interesting to see what one of, if not the best carry in the world, does with this sort of position.
I'm just wondering, you know, even though the lane, as we were saying, it didn't end up absolutely atrocious, it still wasn't great, how he's going to keep up in pace with something like a Shadow Fiend who just can double raise onto some neutral camp, push out lane super easy. For this Ember, it's so much slower how he can farm, and it's rare to say this, where Satanic, he's been a number 1, number 2 net worth in 95% of their games. This is one of those games he's going to have to play a bottom court as the game, so, and into hard matchups.
I mean, that's the thing, just the carry matchup in general. The fact that he's doing it against Yatoro, you know, the other one that very easily could be labeled the best carry in the world, on an SF. Like, Yatoro could not be more comfortable in this position. Game 1 of a grand final, some ways, you know, done pretty well historically when he gets to them, and he's on his Shadow Fiend, one of the hottest carries right now in the meta.
And he warmed up on it already today,
Yeah.
finding a solo kill on Watson earlier, which was super impressive. So we're going to see a lot of aggression come out from Spirit. We talk about Disruptor in the past a lot when we used to see him is when you're ahead, you really can press your advantage. So they're looking for kills right now. At 9 class, they'll find him.
A quick grab, set it up for Yatoro. He's going to be able to take down the tier 1. I mean, it just feels like Yatoro is going to be able to do so much.
Yes.
While Satanic, he's just going to hope that there's going to be the time to get to a stage of the game where he can make plays. They'll try and look to punish Collapse.
He's turning on him.
He's pretty scary. Collapse drops down the tombstone. Satanic, he has to just run.
Can he run too? Not.me's trying to close the gap.
Oh,
Satanic,
he's gonna
he's
go
caught.
down.
Oh boy, and it's early days, but this is devastating for Vision.
It's
And even another glimpse, Brew is there.
They're going to get another very likely to Carlos will try and leap away, just accepts his fate. He knows there's no further way to escape the reach of Collapse.
Nice,
Getting
very
a double.
with a much more normal approach
It
to the
really
game,
was.
and it's just looking so much easier to play with this type of advantage. So many catches. The damage isn't there for Collapse at this point. He just walks up. He doesn't even have really that many HP items. Just gets the ulti off. They are lacking in damage early on the side of Vision.
And Yatoro is nearly double the net worth of Satanic.
Oh boy, Owen.
I tell you what, this is not doing wonders for the games where I like to pick some safe lane Ember at home. You know, I'm going to get
Carl?
reports as soon as the game starts now.
They will find him.
As we're seeing, this is not the position for this hero right now.
They've got to do some heavy lifting with the IO and the 2 supports to get some space. Notice it's been quiet so far here, so maybe if you can get to that timing of the Blink Dagger and look to get involved, but really when I'm looking at the damage, I'm looking at some lackluster approaches here from Vision.
I can't find it.
Their burst can come out if the sharpshooter's there, but is that going to be enough when the SF is starting to get this much of an advantage? And now notice,
They're going to have the glimpse into the Requiem. Okay, the call does put a stop to the Requiem. Doesn't matter though. Or maybe it will. It's close. Okay, it
Lives?
does. He
Wow.
lives. All right.
Raindrop actually
No,
protecting him.
Gets to live, and I'll be honest, I think Notice, he's probably the one that you're looking at to try and save Team Vision from the state of the game that they're in.
Yeah. And the mobility that can come in from the IO, see how much no one can connect with these relocates. He's halfway towards the Aghanim's. Said their skirmishing is strong on Vision, but if they fall too far behind, their team fight is very lackluster in comparison.
They're falling pretty fast.
They are.
Another tower here taken by Yatoro.
Okay, they're going to try to use the Moonlight Shadow to maybe sneak something in here, but it's still very difficult without Notice having the Blade Mail or the Blink. And Stacks, and they're starting to be formed. So Spirit, on top of playing super oppressively here, they've got this backup condition to just make Yatoro continue to be this beast. And Ember, he can't farm stacks. He can farm small neutral camps with the stack, but not an ancient stack.
And you can tell right from the item build-up. Oh, we'll see in a minute. They do get the
Good
catch
catch.
for the call. All right.
Nice kill.
Ball's gone.
It's something for sure.
I really do feel, as I said, this is a game where you're looking to Notice if you're Vision. He's got to do some big moves to get them out of this spot. Going for the Blade Mail, of course, into the Blink.
I think, I like the Blade Mail first. I mean, Blink first is also very dangerous to do because you can just blink it and die and you don't have follow-up. The Blade Mail, it's going to provide that damage that they're kind of missing.
You might kill the SF.
Might be able to. Brew, positioned here for Notice.
Okay. He did get himself out of this last time, notice.
There is an ulti this time though from Rue.
Yeah, there'll be no hesitation. Dropping down the Static Storm. Yatoro's able to step up, lay down the raises. This time,
Reload.
no chance of Notice running. No one's
Bringing the
going to come
numbers.
in.
They get the catch.
It's a tricky one, especially with Lala around as well. Vision, they've got to be careful how they chase for this. Lala ready to pounce aggressively straight towards them. Acorn shot in the pushback completely off the mark. He
Satanic.
steps up, he'll drop a remnant out, but he'll get another one away, so we'll still be able to jump out despite being glimpsed back.
They bring the numbers forward on the side of Vision and can't go for any type of trade play here because our Spirit, they just react to the numbers themselves. They bring everybody over. They know how ahead they are right now. Play with this Disruptor. Max Glimpse is online. They can keep bringing this number advantage. Even if the IO relocate comes in, they can just send him away. Nine Class, a good connection here at the Collapse, so they have follow-up. It looks like it's coming.
Backup's coming up for Collapse. It's alright. Now they'll get the glimpse. I mean, this is the dream sort of position, right, to be playing with this Disruptor. We don't get to see it a lot, but in these sort of games where you're starting to get this sort of momentum, this is where Rue absolutely controls every single play. You cannot run. He will bring you back, and what better carry to bring the enemy back over towards than an SF? Yatoro's going to clean them up every time that Rue catches them.
He's still continuing almost double net worth of the Ember Spirit. As we said, Satanic, it's very rare that he's put in this bad of a position.
Yes.
So how is he going to really recover?
I don't know.
Trying to bring numbers, but
don't know.
Spirit's reacting every single time. Yeah, this is strong. Like you said, the Disruptor pick is looking incredible. They have all the vision tools with the Slark, with the Undying to be able to give him these glimpses over and over again. It's early, but it's a 5k lead, and it's about to jump to a 6k after these stacks get finished up here from Yatoro.
Just a very tough road ahead for Satanic. If he's able to make this work, it's going to be unbelievable.
Okay, notice this feeling like, okay, I can't actually go for the Greek blade, but I need a blink. We need a way to set up, slow the pace.
I don't mind it. I mean, it definitely shows, Vision, they realize the spot they're in ain't too great.
Yeah.
They got to do something drastic. Blink dagger timing with the smoke. They need something big. The dream catch, of course, would be Yatoro. Let's see if they can find Vision.
Will they have the damage is the question, because I'm looking at the build from Collapse in this game. Also, he's maxed the Soul Rip. So there's quite a bit of sustain that can come in even if they do get the catch. And Yatoro has Mask of Madness.
Not me, but Not Me is not the one they want to go for. They want Yatoro. Yatoro is going to step up. Notice, he's thinking about it. He's going to make the jump in with the call into the arrow.
Static Storm.
But then he'll get laid down. Yatoro will get hit by the sharpshooter. He's able to get off the rack.
Too much heals.
The Notice is gone. No one to fall. Ducalis has to retreat, but Lal chases him out. Yatoro throws out another raise. They cannot go on this SF right now. They hit the call, they hit the arrow, but it just doesn't matter every single time. Backup's going to be there, and they don't even get close to killing him. Even with multiple ults connecting, the sharpshooter comes in. Yatoro doesn't even get anywhere close to dying.
Spirit, they're 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 steps ahead of the play. They've got double vision in the area. Thank you, Collapse, for the goals, of course. Double vision in the area to cover. They know exactly that move's going to happen. And Yatoro, he loves to play super aggressive on this Shadow Fiend. This team, it's insane how we've watched Spirit level up in just a couple months here. Not looking to play slow, late game type of potential. No, they're all about the aggression, especially with this lineup. They're not slowing down, Owen.
No, which is of great concern for Vision.
Yep, and another catch. He's just dead. I'm struggling to see the recovery.
I mean, I think you can see the struggle in sort of working out how to recover and just the build that Satanic's got queued up. There's no other carry that you're going to be playing at all in this meta, right, where you go Kaya, BKB, Radiance. It's just, that Satanic himself, he feels how awkward of a spot that he's in, that he's been put in, having to play this Ember in the safe lane, that there seems to be very little way to kind of farm and build your way out of this hole.
I don't think we're going to see this again. This, Slark type of thing with the Ember teams. It's been tried too many times in this tournament. It's just looking so hard to recover. No one, he's got the Ags. Let's see how much he can do with this one. He's going to farm very fast, but he's still so vulnerable going into these fights versus the SF and the Slark.
With a remnant there, Satanic will make sure it doesn't get tripped up by the Willow combo.
The thing too is, like, a lot of times when you're playing with the IO, it's not, of course, it is about the IO, the spirits, how much damage they do, but it's also, you're able to provide this extra sustain at times. When you're playing versus this Slark too, he just steals it. He walks up, throws that shiv onto somebody, and you're just preventing all that extra heal.
They'll find Brew. It's going to be enough to kill him.
Can they get
How
out?
they get out? I don't think Noticed is. He's gone.
Not me, though.
Able to find him, but indeed 2 supports taken down. Time before though for Yatoro to turn up. Ducalis will manage to leap away. a favourable trade in
Decent.
terms of numbers.
Yep, not bad
They
here.
get both the supports. Sure, they're losing core, but in the position they're in, they'll take that.
Collapse, dodging the bushwhack. He's got Octarine already, so these decays, they're building up, reducing their health, taking up himself. And also, so I keep mentioning about playing ahead on the side of Spirit when we're talking about the Disruptor. The other thing about playing ahead too is they have a Slark. So look at the vision on the map. All the wards, they're just getting taken away. So just completely controlling that versus vision, so limiting any of these aggressive moves of trying to outnumber in any way as well. It's so hard for them to make a move like this. Look where Yatoro's farming. He's just like, okay, I'll just take your ancients multiple times here. I'm at no risk really at this point. He continues to have absolutely insane net worth. He is the net worth of 2 core heroes right now. Catch on the Undying. They've got him.
All right.
Ceaseless Dirge. He's right back into the mix.
Spirit might still bring the pressure in around this tier 2. Yatoro ready to turn up.
Looking for the wraparound here.
I mean, they might go for round 2 on Collapse. Oh, okay. No. Max is already going to be out through the twin gate. Not looking to set up. No,
Night Class.
back off.
Oh, no one's also caught in the back. Laurel does see him.
He's going to look to relocate out of this.
They got the glimpse.
They do. They
Perfect timing.
One of the age-old counters there to the Ion. That's one of the reasons the glimpse can be a bit too much sometimes for him.
They're just running at them at this point. Oh, and Night Class, he's trying to get away, but they've got the vision on hiding in the trees.
They're not going to quite see him in time, so he will live, still losing their mid-vision.
No space on the map, Owen. The only place that they can play right now is where they had that vision on Team Vision, and they're just still getting run at in that area. They'll kill the Undying, but as you said, Ceaseless Dirge, he's back immediately, and with the Octarine, it's a much faster cooldown as well. 360 seconds rather than that 480, so we'll be able to utilize that in the next move as well, potentially. See if Vision can bring the numbers again. Not me. Does still have this ward on the high ground. Panic.
Bringing the brambles. Into the field, all ready to pounce in, closing onto Ducalis. He'll get the leap off. Solar from Collapse will allow Spirit to continue to rack up the kills here against Vision.
And Spirit 2, they have a building hitter. While on Vision, they do not have a building hitter.
They don't have a single building.
They do not have a single one at this point, too. So overall, just have to play to farm and try to catch back up with these items that they can get. Looking for the BKB timing. So double BKB, potentially triple BKB timing that Vision is going to look for versus that heavy team fight. But it's not just that team fight. That physical damage, it is there too from Yatoro that will be able to bypass it. Roche suit on the menu probably for Spirit. If it doesn't get damage, I think it's time right now.
Step straight into there with the amplified damage.
Yep, they've got the Undying too, so he can pop the ult. He can keep pushing it forward even faster with the Tombstone too. They'll even save the ult potentially here for the fight. It's just going to be brought down so fast. Little to no mistakes from Spirit right now. Division just still trying to get these items online, trying to make the recovery for Satanic.
Yeah, very much making a statement for... maybe that slot does actually have to be first phase if you want to open with December.
Yeah, potentially so.
Might just force you to kind of have to come in with these sort of strats that just don't seem to be anywhere close to working.
Night Class trying to be cheeky here, finding a place to farm. Rune knows where he is.
They're going to see him.
They've got the catch.
Static Storm. Make sure there's nowhere for him to play his way out there. At the same time, Spirit, they've also got the Great Wave moving in top. Notice we'll get the call onto Yatoro.
Not Aegis.
And no one's come across. Satanic.
The numbers are being brought in. They're buybacking on 9 Class.
Let's have a look. They want to try and put everything into this play, Vision, see if they can find some sort of kill. But Collapse is ready to just run straight at them. Comes in with the ultimate, tanking up, heals up with the Soul Rip. Vision, they can't even touch him. He's fine. They've got to back off.
A cool build too. Collapse going for just a casual Glimmer King. He knows that the big burst damage that's coming out from Vision, it's that magical damage from the Mirana, from that Hoodwink as well with the Shard too. So that Glimmer is going to be very, very strong. He's kind of like this pseudo support to be able to protect Yatoro as well with the heals.
I mean, because at the moment, right, that's all that matters.
That's
really.
all that matters.
If they can save Yatoro, he will do everything. He'll kill them all. He'll kill their base. We'll see in the
Catch on Laurel.
He'll get the call.
Got him.
Laurel's gone. Noticed, I don't think he's getting out though. Yatoro turns up with Collapse. They're able to take him down. Now over towards Ducalis. He's out of leaps.
They've got a glimpse if they needed it anyway. Rue wants another target though. He's got a blink. He's got a Tumbler's toy if he can look for one. Panic. Trying to be cheeky here. Cut wave to get this extra farm. He's got the BKB.
Look at the courier.
playing with fire here. Should be okay. Rue's like, you know what? I don't even want to chase him at this point. He's got the BKB.
So Yatoro was over there by the Remnant. Nearly actually in position, and now
We have to be careful. Satanic.
he's going to have to BKB possibly. Okay, did get the Remnant off.
They got vision.
He can maybe time it, and he can.
Okay.
He's able to jump back despite the glimpse.
That's the last remnant. He's really trying to hang on to that BKB. But it really is just hanging on to it as Santoro trying to get some more of that information.
Radiant are scanning.
8,000 lead for Spirit, continuing to play super oppressive here. And Root, he is starting to build toward that Aghanims as well too already at this point. Blink and a point booster picked up. Vision. Starting to bring the numbers. Eyes on notice to see how big of calls he can get.
Oh, to be off the call, doesn't matter. The relocate comes in, they'll still get Rue. They'll get the two of them.
Getting the supports over and over again. Pretty decent when you are this far behind.
Calls from Spirit are watching at the side, just in case anybody steps up here. They can still fight despite the death of their supports with how large they are.
First BKB reveal from Noah as well. They're trying to get to this timing of those triple BKBs for Vision. Toro on the hunt.
With a slippery kill to Jaceful.
Can't quite find him here.
Chances luck there with the raises, but off the mark.
Potentially looking for, that Tormentor cup of play. It's got to shift soon. Both these teams, not really the biggest Tormentor teams either. Vision just desperately trying to find these places to farm. You look where Satanic is, look where no one is. They just really want to get to this item timing and then look for that fight when the Aegis does go down. Probably their best option, because they still are super behind at this point. They need to get the BKBs to counter that heavy team fight. Spirit's just chasing them all over.
Collapse just bullying Satanic, making sure that Satanic doesn't get the full freedom that he hoped for.
Satanic has to be pretty careful here. Yatoro, does he have the damage?
TP. Ooh, one hit away from being close enough to kill him, I'll tell you that.
Top, Ducalis. They also get noticed.
Look at the glimpse back, straight into the fear, very nicely timed. He gets the blade mail off, but it doesn't matter. Noticed is gone. Ducalis trapped by the kinetic field. Perfect timing with a glimpse into the fear there from the supports of Spirit.
Two of the better heroes to punish it. They're trying to split with Collapse.
They're trying to make some sort of a play against Collapse with this relocate from Noah, but it's not going to happen.
And Noah,
he's probably in trouble. Okay, he has got the BKB. He's going to try and chase down Root with the Spirits, but the Soul Reveal comes in. Nobody in Spirit going down in this mid lane. As Vision continue to hemorrhage this kills.
3 deaths there, and it was a 9-class buyback earlier too that they were desperately trying to look for these extra kills up top. Ends up being brought down. Yatoro, very close to having the silver edge. He is continuing to be double net worth of the Emerald.
I mean, he's just having a completely free game here. I can't imagine a better way to start off a TI Grand Finals if you're a carry than the one that Yatoro is having right now, and he is making absolutely everything out of the situation he's been given.
Not only is it 24-12, but look at the tower situation, right? As we said, Vision, they cannot touch the towers, especially because of how far behind they were at the start of this game. They're almost full HP. All the ones of Spirits have barely been touched at this point, while 2 tier 2s already have dropped on the side of Vision. And noticed his BKB is the timing that he wanted to get a bit of acceleration onto it. He's now died, I think, 3 times trying to make the space for the team, so his BKB is going to be so delayed at this point. Rue is going to have an Aghanims, maybe as that BKB comes out from the axe, so he's going to have extra answers even to prevent them from using it if he does get the initial catch. Vision. Panic. There's a silver-edged Yatoro stalking him.
Lined up and ready to go for this final tier 2 on the bottom lane.
So hard for Vision to put together a team fight. Spirit will take every single one of these battles at this point. Level 20 as well now hit for Yatoro. Satanic. I feel like every time we see Satanic, Collapse is on top of him. He's just following and being super annoying.
See in the mid.
Another catch on Laurel.
They do manage to bring Laurel down. Yatoro's considering if he wants to fight back here. The BKB was used by no one.
That is 4 times they've been able to find Laurel. Noticed.
He'll yet to get Yatoro.
Can he get the glimpse? He will.
Straight back into the field and the Static Storm into the Requiem. Although he relocates.
Nice
a
reload.
Nice one. Alright, no one able to bail his axe out for now.
They're going to look for the fight after this. They're going to kill the Tombstone off. Doesn't look like they can go for the fight themselves. BKB still cooldown for no one. He'll play caution. Spirit also will back up to respect that save. Space needed. No one is pulling ahead a good amount here over the Slark as they have been able to find some nice kills onto Laurel with the chain stuns. If no one can end up being that rock that they really need for the team. Gonna go that Shiva's build that we do see for pretty much all the mid laners on the IO. But it's slower paced damage in comparison to something like Yatoro, who is accelerating toward more lifesteal. Is gonna go that Satanic build, stalling out any type of BKB. Knows he doesn't need it for now, maybe eventually at some points, but we know Yatoro, he plays for the Manta dodges. A 9 class, and then in 2 or 3 hits.
Also, Rue won't be able to tease much out of Satanic there. Satanic quick with the Remnant away.
And even though they're not keeping up, right, but not making the Gold League go so much faster in terms of her spirit, the gains just aren't that big for Vision. I just don't know how much this Radiance for Satanic is really going to do, because we did see Mickett try for it the other day, but as soon as he showed up to the fights with the Radiance and the BKB, he did absolutely nothing.
And it's a different build-up. The fact that Radiance is going to come so much
It
later.
is later as well.
It's, as I said, I think, Satanic's trying to do his best to adapt to this situation that he's been put on off the back of this draft. It's just not easy to make this safe lane Ember work.
Laurel now has the gem, so should be a lot safer. We have seen them pick him off a couple times here, but now with the gem should be much more protected in terms of not getting caught by the Blink Axe from that distance. Also going for the BKB early. I like it.
It's alright. You can do something cute here.
Thinking about it. If he can line up the Requiem.
Gonna try and open things up here with the fear.
They got
That
him.
will do it.
We saw him solo kill Watson earlier. That was almost a solo kill as well, too. Did get a little help, but super impressive play. A flawless game from the legend himself. 8-0-3.
I'm pretty much maintaining this net worth position where
Double.
he's so close to essentially being double the net worth of Satanic.
He's double the net worth of Laurel, even, too, of his own teammate. Absolutely crazy performance from Yatoro this game. They're not able to slow things down. Noticed? His BKB is about to be finished, so let's see if they can connect with this triple BKB timing, how much they can do, but again, the Radiance was slowed down, and it's besides the gold lead, look at the experience. It's a level 16 Ember. Yatoro's cracking level 23 in a second here,
This is the
too.
thing, right, Yatoro, he is not going to care one bit about a Radiance on this Ember Spirit.
9 class, Laurel, stalking him. Switch it back,
Bit of a tricky kill to chase for.
forcing him away.
Now, meanwhile, over towards the mid, we're seeing them grouped up and ready to try and make a move here. Vision, the smoke out.
Trying to catch Spirit if they're split up in any way, but Spirit had been so careful in this game. The Satanic is going to be coming out very soon for Yatoro. They haven't had the damage to bring him down yet, and now they're going to have to somehow bypass the Satanic, which is one of the best answers versus the Blink Blade Mail Axe. Roche soon on the horizon too, something that Vision can't let Spirit get Roche. If they do, game is going to be pretty much impossible for them. They're looking for Laurel again.
They've got him a fair few times.
Not going to be able to find that catch. All right, Radiant's done. But at the same time, Yatoro gets a full Satanic. The damage isn't going to come out that fast from Vision. And there's heals. There's ways to protect. Collapse, as we said, he's playing this pseudo, the extra support in a way, right? With the build that he's gone for. He has Blink, he has Shard. So if they do get the catch, he even can get the saves as well. So again, just difficult to see how Vision approaches these fights.
We'll try and check out the situation and find 9 class. Yatoro steps in, a couple of right clicks. That's 9 class gone.
Godlike. Vision needs every number too, so even if they lose one hero contesting that Roche, already was super hard, now impossible. So they're gonna have to just accept the fact that they're playing versus this Aegis. Push might come onto their high ground pretty soon here with the banner as well. And Toro super tanky. He could probably just frontline. And how's Rue doing for his Aghanims too? He's got 3 components already finished up, so yes.
Pretty close.
Vision's got some BKBs, but they might be put in a position where they can't even get them off too. Toro.
Satanic is not taking any chances this time.
They're trying desperately to get any type of building damage. Got a decent amount bottom here, but it is just that tier 1.
Ready to get this bottom wave pushed out. They'll pick up the Tormentor first.
Finally. These teams hate Tormentor. Brew will get blessed with it as well. A nice one too. The kinetic fence is quite good this game versus the Mirana, versus the Io, even versus the Ember in some situations. Can be quite annoying. Extra little bit of lockdown. Just, yeah, so much sustain, so much save at this point on Spirit. Vision, what's the next big gain they're getting? Okay, no one is going for something a bit different too. Queuing up the Hex. So looking like they just want to get this chain control to not allow this, you know, Yatoro to just go absolutely crazy. But as you said, there's saves, there's heals, there's this tombstone.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Toro ready to make quick work of this tier 2. Plenty of minutes left. They want to try and push up high ground with this Aegis.
Got a creep wave coming in.
Radiant are scanning.
Axe, it's done. Brew, he has it finished in at 10 gold now. They're gonna smoke up, potentially look for the catch as a hero shows on the side of Vision.
If anyone steps out of the base, they'll get quite a nasty surprise.
They have the Slark Shard as well too. So Tombstone, Slark Shard, Soul Rip, Glimmers, so many things to protect Yatoro.
Gonna get the call.
That's a heal.
No rips there. They're keeping him healed up pretty nice. You'll get the match off. The pushback comes out after, but there's going to be the save from the Tombstone. Fear connects onto no one.
Satanic to heal up. Yatoro will back away and respect the damage. They force everybody from Vision back.
The players save, work on sorting out the other lanes here. Spirit.
They also, now they do have that Axe Disruptor, so Vision has to be so prepared to click those BKBs, but it's going to be difficult because the Blink is there too for Brew, so can't just blink and drop that Static Storm.
Just going to be ridiculous amounts of damage coming out for Yatoro. He's just over 1,000 gold away from having that Daedalus.
And the wards just continue to get taken out. The gem that they picked up on the Slark with disadvantage, constricting the map. Collapse. They saw someone outside for a quick second here. They want to get a glimpse. Can't quite find the angle here. Not letting Vision get outside.
Talik's just trying to find some sort of corner of the map. 9 Class is going to go for a very aggressive jump out of the base to try and set up onto Rue. Lol, he'll be able to punish that. Rue's perfectly fine.
They've got the Depth Shroud as well too. Just so many ways to cover and protect each other.
Radiant's turret has been
Satanic desperately trying to find that Aghanims. The quietest game I think we've seen from him at this international.
I think it is.
Toro, Arrow will connect.
It's a lot of damage.
They've got so much sustain and so many ways to protect him.
Keeping their cool, able to continue to hit the tier 3s, force out the fortification here in the mid. Toro can back up, pick up that Demon Edge.
90 seconds still on this Aegis. This is an aggressive relocate positioning from no one here. Is this Disruptor could catch him?
Quick jump.
He got the BKB off. Okay.
Make sure he gets that there before the Static Storm.
They're gonna try the glimpse timing, but he still has the BKB active, so he will be safe. Good thing he clicks that BKB when he does, so he's dead.
I think as soon as he saw people turn up, he knew that there was a high chance that that play would be looked towards by Root.
The Toro standing strong by himself here. He still has the Aegis.
9 Class! They're gonna earn a couple of hits. They're gonna try and battle you.
He's too strong.
These hits are gonna hurt.
God, so close to Satanic even getting brought down. Yatoro showing he can fight versus everybody with disadvantage. I fear.
Yeah, this is, especially in situations like that, I can only imagine, Fog, that Satanic is like, please let me play something else. I do not want to play this Parry Ember. I really don't. It cannot be fun, Fog.
Not if Yatoro, especially not if Yatoro's getting to play Shadow Fiend, right?
Look
at the difference in this guy.
He gets the SF and I get this. This doesn't feel fair.
Really doesn't at this point. Now no glyph for Vision to stop this push. Can they get Yatoro off of the racks? No BKB for no one either for this push.
Give the call.
Try again.
Really any follow-up. They do get the arrow. Collapse has already jumped in. Satanic's going to try and go in on the back lines here aggressively with the BKB. He's going to try and chase out Rue, bring the Disruptor down. He'll succeed. Takes Rue out the fight. BKB's about to come to an end though, so he'll have to jump back defensively. Did manage to get that kill there with that play, Satanic.
That was a pretty cool one. Just jumps past everybody. Did have to use a lot of the remnants. They did have to use their BKB. That's both the BKBs, right? Just to find a support kill. So it's something, but it's a very expensive commitment just to find a disruptor here at this point. But they have to do that, right? I think this is exactly how the Emperor has to play. You cannot let Rue get his spells off because you will just get destroyed in the team fight if he gets a Static Storm on top of you. Even the bigger Static Storm, a Chasm Stone, casually picked up from the Disruptor too, so even more massive to be able to get the connection onto them here. Some decent execution we're seeing, the attempts from Vision, right? Getting the call, pulling him back, getting that connection of the arrow too. But yeah, just still a bit too far behind to bring down Yatoro at all. How's no one's Hex looking? He does have the gold for it, but saving for the buyback for the moment.
Zora. Noxus sticks around, he might regret it. Got the blink in time.
Look at the build he has to go for unnoticed. He's like, yeah, armor isn't the solution, guys. I need to blink Blade Mail and Ghost Scepter so I don't just die to this.
Against this SF, certainly so.
No one? Forced to pop the BKB defensively again.
He's going to try for the call, but Yulali, he's already up to BKB. There'll be no follow-up damage to threaten the Slark. The Ghost Scepter buys him a little bit of time, but as it comes to an end, Spirit will bring Notice down.
Yatoro just running the show beyond godlike. And that was what BKB used from no one. Notice still has his for the potential for the defense. Satanic also, but not having the IO BKB, he can just get popped. Yatoro. Aggressive force staff.
All right. Another bushwhack. Looks stunned, but the tombstone's there. It's only going to have to use a lot of his BKB to try and take it out. They don't do so in time. The call comes out.
They get him.
They've done it. They killed Yatoro.
For the first time this game.
That's massive. Vision doing what seems to be the impossible. Now, Collapse, on the other hand, he's got a lot of HP to get through if they want to try and get Undying. Collapse is going to try and chase through out of the action. Collapse building the HP up. And Collapse, he's kind of cleaning them up. Satanic's gone. Double kill for Collapse.
Got the blink.
And he's ready for more. Jumps over to Notice. Notice tries. The clean comes in. Collapse, he don't need Yatoro now at this point. He's the new carry in town.
They had to use everything to kill you. They executed it pretty beautifully to bring down this SF, but Collapse
maybe even more.
I have 52 strength. He wants more.
Bounce forward from Lar. Won't quite be able to get slow onto either of them or the leash. Collapse. He still wants to get in.
They finally defeat Yatoro. They kill him the once at least. Good. They synergized that pretty beautifully there too. I didn't see if they broke the tombstone.
I think they did,
right? Because he got stunned right afterwards from it. So it's pretty perfect that ends up happening, and they get the call right afterwards, so he doesn't get the satanic.
So it can be done.
It can be done, but they end up losing a lot out of it as well too. 9 class looking for a cheap catch here on the Laurel. They've got back up.
Well, listen, no one trying to come in and help out, but BKB's up for Lar.
Static Storm.
They didn't get the grab onto no one. Lar falling low, but Collapse coming in with the save. Heals him up with the Soul Rip. Keeps Lar strong. No one will relocate back out of there in time to survive, but the Carlos has been left out on the map.
Laurel to take too much regen. Gets to steal a lot here with this Shiv versus the Io over and over again. Plus the healing from the Undying. Absolutely seeing that come into play there. Vision, they're trying their hardest. They're doing some really cool execution plays, but at this deficit, you can just see how hard it really is.
It's just too much.
Yatoro back onto the push. On it dead for 25 seconds. Vision needs absolutely every little thing they can put together here. Collapse now, level 25. He's going to have a 10,000 HP when he pops that Flesh Golem.
Full set of ranks taken in the mid. Spirit, they can head over to the Roshan.
Safest play possible. Refresher Shard. Some really good ones they can put that onto. Either the Disruptor, they can put it onto the Undying as well too. Some really good options that they can do. Even onto the Slug. I mean, everybody's a good option to get that Refresher Shard. They'll wait for a moment here though. We'll see it again. Yatoro had just died over there from that great chain stun that they were able to do, but yeah, Collapse. A different beast after they've expended so much.
I mean, they sort of think about trying to do something about him, but not a lot that you can do about this Undying right now with that amount of HP built up on him.
Just walking at them. Getting so much farm too. He's got the Cloak of Flames, he's got the Greedy. Yatoro, will give him a cheeky smile. He's like, you know, you got me.
Exactly. Thanks to be said here from Collapse. He is absolutely loving it here on his Undying.
Roshan time, 18k lead. Vision. I don't think they can contest in that area. high ground defenses, they can execute if they do at utmost perfection, but around the Roche, kind of suicide. No disperser for Yatoro.
Aegis. Pressure shard available here for Collapse.
Oh god, Collapse has a full hex now too. Oh my goodness. Just keeps flurrying out the items. He's keeping up in farm with an IO core. Very impressive that he's been able to do. We see Satanic, his farm is pretty impressive too, but still, at that back foot. Even bigger rate. I mean, this static storm's gonna be massive. We don't see Disruptor very often. I actually forgot that was even a talent for him at 20. With that Chasm Stone too, this static storm's gonna be huge.
So many things that they're gonna have to pre-BKB.
Yeah, they either have to pre-BKB or if they have to jump the Disruptor and kill him at the start of the fight. So they're just gonna get decimated from that Axe. Push coming in toward the north side.
Alright.
The Aegis posing the question who the answer. Collapse now finally switches his neutral item.
And immediately Satanic has to put this BKB. He's so terrified about what they'll throw at him. A quick tombstone dodge off the arrow.
I mean, he needs to use that.
Has to. It's so scary.
Otherwise, he's gonna get hexed.
Well, 9 Class outside of the base. Collapse is waiting for him inside of the base. 9 Class gonna get glimpsed back. I mean, they just can't do anything about the fact that Collapse is just standing there between them.
He has 7,500 HP. Good luck bringing him down. I mean, put some Vessels onto him. Vessel's gonna do like 300 damage per tick. No Vessel charges remaining though on Ducalis, so unfortunate for him.
Somebody's got to do something.
Jumps into Tombstone, jumps out. There's no BKB for Satanic. How does he commit it to
I don't know. They've got to try something.
Arrow, just to try to push him off, but Yatoro
The racks are falling.
standing strong.
And they even get him but once now. Back up, set up perfectly around Yatoro.
Notice, as the Krella is now picked up, they spend their gold on the side of Vision, can't protect the racks. Both Spirit, they're gonna continue in this area. Continue the push. If anyone steps out, if Rue sees them, he will just blink Static Storm, grab them. Vision, desperate move here.
They're on the low ground. Notice he's going to try for the jump, but he doesn't find an angle to get the call off. The Static Storm's laid down into the fear from the Requiem.
He used his gold too to buy the Krellas. He does not have buyback.
Spirit should have what it takes here to finish up the final set of racks.
Fear connects.
The Satanic is going to try and jump the backlines. Maybe let's see if he can kill off the support. So put the BKB, look to chase down the Willow. Can he at least get that? There's going to be Ultimate save. No one's just getting shredded by the right clicks of Yatoro. No one's gone. He's out for 100. They're getting close to killing off Collapse. He'll heal up with the Soul Rip and the Decay.
It is Tombstone.
He's still alive. Satanic is trying to run. No one coming to bail him out of this. He'll be able to live, Satanic.
They're just way too far ahead, Owen. They're all too tanky. Yatoro's damage, he shreds. I can't believe no one actually gets away.
And the Collapse is back in with another jump. They get the hex onto Ducalis. He's out. He'll buy back. Satanic's going to jump in with the slide chain. Over towards Yatoro, but it's a triple kill for Yatoro. This game is over. GG is called. And Team Spirit will take game one. Yatoro finishes with a rampage here in Shanghai.
The legendary carry himself having a pretty free game this time around. Vision trying something here that we've said multiple teams have tried with this Ember to dodge this Slark. They put the IO mid, but the Slark was doing pretty fine. They did get some kills on Laurel, which was pretty impressive, but the biggest problem really was Yatoro is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
Ports are getting a lot, and Collapse too. Love the build he goes for, knowing that he can play the pseudo kind of supportish style, get these extra heals. They run this one over, Owen.
They really do. I guess at the least for Team Vision, we did it from Puppy at the start, right?
They're trying.
They already knew they were trying something, so they should be able to easily move past this into game two. But as for this game one strat, it did not work out.
It was a strat that we weren't necessarily sure how it was going to play out. We saw so many new things. Disruptor, it's its first pick here for TI-15. We're also seeing no one playing that IO for the first time, and Satanic playing an Ember Spirit carry for the first time himself. I know we've seen Ember carry so far in this tournament, but Satanic himself having their first competitive games on those heroes, and you're like, is it game one of a TI finals where you want to do it? And I give them full credit to having that confidence, but at the end of the day, what Spirit cooked, Quinn, was just another level.
Yeah, I think the answer to your question, is this the place to do it, is no. I think You want to go back to your comfort. You want to go back to the solid strategies you played for the entirety of your career. We look at Satanic, you think of him as the hard carry that scales into the late game, that's going to put the team on the back, and how can you really do that with an Ember carry? It just wasn't the same level of impact we're used to seeing from him, and I don't blame him. It's a very uncomfortable position to be in.
Yeah, I mean, we heard from Puppy in the coach interview that they have tried it before and it wasn't unexpected for them. And he thinks that TI is for trying things and that's why they did it. But in practice, it didn't look that good. That IO mid didn't even manage to have a game against the Slark. The Ember lost to that Undying pick, which was brilliant because Team Spirit set up a situation where both side lanes would win and the mid flex didn't matter in Stadia.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it just comes back to what you brought up about how maybe Puppy is saying no to 9class's ideas. And for me, personally, I feel like Satanic's been the player of the tournament, or the player of Team Vision at least. And put him in an Ember against Undying lane, you're not really setting him up for success. And I feel like you have a guy on 9class that could take that opponent. He could play that Ember. It's something he's done in the past. Their lane didn't go well anyway. It's not like he's a particularly strong Hoodwink player. So, for me, it's just a little bit questionable how they approach this game on. But to be honest, in a best of 5, you have a lot of room to do these kinds of things. And it doesn't matter for the next game. It's 0-0.
Room for error, room for growth, whichever way you want to look at it here, but it definitely felt like a game of bluffs in some way as well, because whilst the execution was incredibly high from Spirit, it felt like that they were coming in almost as a continuation of the best of 3 that they had in their upper bracket 2 days ago, where it's, we actually know what you like, we know what you don't like, and so they try and put Lal on an uncomfortable slot that he hasn't necessarily shown or proven himself on the same way he has other heroes, and vice versa, again, where Vision are thinking, we've got this Ember that we can move to other roles. We've got this IO that we know is comfortable mid, but at the end of the day, Quinn, I'm not really sure how that mid matchup played out. You said that it should be something more favorable to IO, but we didn't see that in eventuality.
Yeah, I think it probably should. It ended up being where Slark takes a relatively decent early CS advantage, and I think you can chalk a lot of it up to no one's inexperienced on the hero. It's quite a very player-specific hero. You need a lot of reps into how you move the spirits back and forth. It's a very finicky, I don't know, very IO-specific mechanic that not any other heroes have. And so I think I chalked it up to inexperience, and I think it's not just sort of a fault of Vision, but it's a skill that Spirit is really good at. And I think specifically in finals, I felt this myself, that they are really good at taking you out of your comfort zone. It's not just Vision doing it to themselves. They're picking things and banning in a way that forces you to do that, or you feel compelled to it, almost like they're mind controlling you.
On that topic of potential inexperience on the mid IO, that may very well be true, but watching it play out, I don't think IO has any inherent advantages against Slark. The way the hero functions in the mid lane is it just farms. You trade farm, and for mid heroes to punish melee heroes, they have to make it so that if the melee heroes walk up to hit a creep, that they take absurd amounts of damage, and that just doesn't happen with IO until later levels, and I think fundamentally the concept there was also wrong.
We're going to look at the earlier mark between these two, right? Looking at about 10 minutes, I feel like that's that moment where you're wanting to see a little bit more movement coming out from your mid. You're hoping that they're going to be up there, the playmaker, or the solid rock for your team, and hopefully that they've had a good enough lane for themselves. But when it comes to this mark, it's not necessarily a glaring obvious who is doing that for their team, right, Quinn?
Yeah, it's very even, and you've got the pressure on the side lanes, and I think that's Spirit, that's how they love to play. They want to have Laurel just chilling, playing some matchup that's whatever, that's normal, that he's fine in, and they put pressure and they put the precedence on their side lanes to do well and have good matchups, and I think that came to fruition completely this game. It's exactly how they want to play. It's a bread and butter Spirit draft.
I feel like the main thing that I take away from the is the net worth. The Wisp has to be a lot more farm coming out of that matchup. Honestly, it needs to be almost 1,000 gold.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is a big difference. And you mentioned something briefly, Quinn, where you're talking about it's a lot down to the side lanes. What's happening on the action there as well? How much more can their mids offer, depending on how well their side lanes are going? And we've already talked about it. This is the first official we've seen Satanic on that Ember Spirit. And luckily we have Purge, who's going to give us more information about how it played out for him.
Yeah, they tried out the Ember Spirit with the shift to the safe lane. They thought they could make it work. Last I saw was Team Liquid playing it. And it's definitely a little bit harder here. Satanic did his best in the lane. He did some nice little tricky things like dodging the Willow blasts here. But after a quick level 2 on Willow, she got a D-ward here. This really nice root is going to guarantee the kill on Satanic. That got him a first blood. And the lane didn't really get that much better for a bit here because that level 3 now for Undying is very, very fearsome. He did use Flame Guard to protect himself when he got gone on a bit here, which is going to give him a little bit of protection, but the downside is they have a lot of nuke damage here, so they actually were just bursting through his Flame Guard and almost killing him. Here's his final death here that you would normally get successfully, but Satanic, of course, so he's going to slight dodge that one as well, even using another Fairy Fire to survive. He had a tough lane. They did gank the Undying, but they did do this nice move on the Wisdom Shrine, which allowed them to, at the very least, get the Wisdom Shrine, but of course a ton of rotations here, and Clap still got one support kill, but this was a nice moment for Satanic to catch up, and in the end of this, he's actually kind of close in net worth if you take a look at it. All things considered, yeah, he's really not that far away, so that was great. Then Yatoro did some really interesting things in this game, and you probably spotted him in the stream at some point showing up somewhere he's not supposed to be, so watch his path here. He was thinking about killing the Axe, but Axe basically got zoned because he's SF. SF wins his matchups, and then he's just fishing to do mid pressure. There's a catapult at this moment, so this is a really good time for him to be here, because if he's just successful at helping to get a kill, then they get a whole bunch more damage. And this is probably the moment you saw him on stream when he came here and double raised the enemy mid. This is kind of crazy to look at, but if you look at what happened on the map here, he's basically forcing the IO to go farm these camps over here, which means he's super far away from the mid lane, so it basically makes it easier for them to pressure the mid lane and for his Slark to get as much farm as he wants. And a short time later, he basically does the same thing. He's going to clear the wave, he's going to walk towards mid, he's going to take this nice little ancient stack, which is beautiful for him, and he's going to do the same thing. Hiding behind the tower, looking for a hero. He ends up spotting out 9 class, which guarantees the vision, which guarantees the kill, and again, guarantees the tower. So this early pressure that Yatoro did to rotate, it didn't take a huge amount of him. He lost a little bit of gold, but he got some nice ganks in. That pressure really opened things up on the map. The mid was opened up, Collapse had this really sick play, getting the kill on Satanic, and as a whole, the lanes just went great for Team Spirit.
Thank you so much, Pudge. We're seeing it play out in real time. The Yatoro TI-10, that's what he was praised for time and time again, was how early he was willing to rotate to mid, how he was willing to help out other cores despite this more traditional viewpoint of a carry being the #1 farmer. You're supposed to always be farming if you're not out there in your lane. And at the end of the day, he goes, well, there's other means to get kills, there's other means to be able to shut down our opponents, and that is pushing the mid laner out as far as possible.
Yeah, I love those clips. I think it really shows some of the skills that Yatoro doesn't always show, but somehow when it comes to TI, when it comes to the finals, he just builds this extra awareness of places he can be, places he can pressure. These are split-second decisions that you need to make in very specific moments, or you're just going to miss the opportunity, and he's so in the moment, he's so clutch in these finals, almost no one else would make these moves, but Yatoro in zone is just a different beast.
To add on to that, just Team Spirit's understanding of which lanes to focus on has always been some of the most impressive out of all the teams in Dota. But they had this knowledge that if IO doesn't have any kind of farm, they won't be able to make moves because both side lanes were shut down. So if they moved their emphasis to the mid lane and pushed no one into the jungle, then there really was no tempo or counterplay for a very long time. And I do have to give them props for how they set up the Disruptor. Playing Disruptor with Slark's Night Vision and an SF coming mid, you're just happy in that situation, aren't you, Insanian?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I play Disruptor, two of my favorite heroes to lane with were TB and SF, and it's just because they provide so much overwhelming damage. Whenever you glimpse someone back, they just immediately die. And that's like what they do on the lane, but then Yatoro takes it one step further, and he just makes sure that he's connected to all the moves that Disruptor wants to make. When Disruptor wants to move mid, well, he's there to provide the damage. And now suddenly, anybody that's within 1,600 range of a Disruptor is just dead.
Yeah, you can see even from just the positioning. The SF is not playing like a typical turret and that he's standing behind everyone. For the majority of this game, Yatoro was standing in front of everyone because his supports wants to stand behind. He's charging at them so then the Disruptor can glimpse them back. That's such an unusual sort of switch of priority in how you're even just standing. These are the little things that go into the greatness that is these Tier 1 carry players or Tier 1 players in general on the biggest stage that he sees in the moment. This is a time for me to walk up and chat up for my supports who are going to sit behind. Compared to the inverse, that is amazing awareness in the moment.
The domino effects that can happen in Dota are so beautiful because like when you think about it, you're like, okay, Slark, Night Vision, and yes, Disruptor, he needs vision. But if your side lanes are so overwhelming, you can play on the first night after minute 5. That's when the laning stage occurs, and that's when a lot of the kills were happening after those first 5 minutes. So from the first night to be able to make that many kills happen off of your vision strategy, we don't see that very often. Usually it's the second or third night that this really becomes significant. I don't think I've ever seen a first night be that impactful.
It's rare. It's honestly super rare that you have like a Disruptor in a winning lane, a Slark mid of all things, and then the carry willing to connect as well. So I think all three of these things have to align for us to have this beautiful early game.
I just love it. The way that the draft played out, well, like, this is one of the biggest cooking sessions that we've seen Miposhka be able to do. A Disruptor that hasn't been picked at all in this TI. Like, the fact that it goes 2 whole weeks completely overlooked, even though SF, even though Slark have been gaining traction. SF was definitely one of those things that in this patch coming in, people were first phase banning, and so we talk about this cycle. Now it's back in the hero pool. Now there is adjustments that need to be made, and more importantly, that pressure is on Vision. We've seen them lose games, but they're in best of 3s, and it's normally a game 2 that they're losing when they're already up. So now they're going to be starting the best of 5 on the back foot. Yeah, there's room for experimentation because you need to be able to have 3 games to win, but you've done your experimenting in a game number 1, and so when it comes to a game 2, even though that experimenting didn't work, do you still have faith that you need to go down that route?
I feel like you mixed it up. I don't think they went for this Ember. The idea was Lard doesn't play Slark, and coming into the series, I would have said the same thing.
Okay.
So, you know, Spirit kind of catch them off guard. They got the Slark, they play the Ember, and now you're just going to shift priorities. You have so many other heroes in the Ember Spirit. You're not reliant on this hero. You know, there's a difference between a team like Vision and maybe Nigma that needed to play the Ember. These guys have a lot more up their sleeve.
Yeah, you're here for a reason. You've proven throughout the entire tournament that you are one of the best teams, if not the best team in the tournament. That was not a fair showing of their true potential. They're playing extremely off comfort on multiple roles. Go back to what you're good at and show the world and show Spirit why you're in this final. You deserve to be here. This is not the moment where you push over and say, they're just better than us. This is where you steel yourself and you go back to this and say, we're here for a reason, and now we're going to show you.
Yeah, that felt like a statement by Puppey that if they take Ember away from Team Spirit, then Laurel doesn't have heroes that they're uncomfortable dealing with in terms of tempo. Because if not the Ember, what have we seen Laurel play that pushed the Team Spirit supports forward on the map? I mean, another hero would be Pango, but it hasn't been that successful this tournament for him. And Puppey basically just said that our plan is to take it away. And if they do plan on taking it away again, it would just be with Slark being factored into the bans. I don't think it's a bad idea to go for Ember.
Yeah, absolutely. But then you open up doors for potentially a Bane, potentially a Winter Wyvern, and we just honestly, I feel like we just got to see how they react to this. It's hard to make any sort of predictions about what their take from the game is, because for me, at least watching, I think you don't want Satanic on Ember. We want him on some sort of win condition. And if this is the plan B, then I don't like the plan.
Yeah. I think it's also interesting how the sort of the order of these drafts pans out whenever hard counters like the Slark versus Ember arise. Ember, through a lot of this tournament, I think would be getting first pick, but there's this one pesky Slark. And so that means Ember is will be a second pick only hero because you need to pick it on the end of the first phase, so then you can ban the Slark in the next phase. Compared to if you try to pre-ban it, then they will just respond with the Ember ban. So you can actually never get Ember if you're first pick. And these things can arise and change how teams prioritize draft order and how the lineups are created, because maybe Ember was crucial and now you can't get anymore from that pick side.
It's always the back and forth when it does come to drafting. Are you a team that loves to and thrives on that first pick, or are you a team that wants to wait until the end to be able to be more reactionary and know that you have that depth within you there? And we're seeing all of our players, they walked out on stage, sitting back down in the booth, and we've brought this up time and time again, is how necessarily do Vision feel after a loss, right? Are they a team that gets a little bit downtrodden about it, or are they a team that goes, hey man, you chalk it up, it is what it is, and we just look towards a whole brand new game here? And I honestly think it's the second of those two options, because even though we've seen them be the team with an early GG in a game at TI, there was still a little laughs, there was still a lot of smiles, and I think the camaraderie between Vision is much stronger than maybe public perception sees.
I think so too, and I mean, no one was smiling at Satanic at the end of the game. Someone was chatting. They seem to be okay. I think they have this understanding that when it's a draft issue, then you go next. Like Insania loves to say, every game is 0-0. You give up on the last loss.
Yeah, I think you just forget about the last game. I think you could draw some drafting lessons, but that's mostly for Puppey to do. And I think for the players, it's just, we're going to go into the game, we're going to run it back. We had a series against Spirit before where we lost the game, and it's nothing new to us. We've done this before. And I feel like they've proven throughout this tournament that they are not fazed by losses. This has happened so many times. And this whole idea of like, they used to be a team that tilted out a series or stuff like that, it just doesn't apply to them anymore.
Yeah.
And again, they have so many approaches they can take in a draft, Quinn, like their Lone Druid or Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think they've got plenty of tricks in the bag still. And I think they've also gotten, I hope, some of the jitters out of the way. If you look at some of the clips that Purge was showing, the Ember Spirit walks back into a bramble, or no one maybe is CSing it's a little bit off in lane. I think some of that is, it's a grand final. It just feels a little different. It's a little bigger, grander, scarier. You love to see it.
Bro knows it's him.
You love to see the smiles in finals. I think it's very easy to get sucked into, especially when you're down a game, the stress and pressure of we're down, we need to come back, we need to fix things, there's problems, and these can mount up and feel like this overwhelming dread sort of enveloping you. But I think the ability to not, only try to win, which is the most important thing, but also appreciate this is a very special moment. You may never get again. You never know whenever these things will happen. Dota is a very competitive game and people fall by the wayside all the time. And so I think being able to laugh and appreciate the moment, the privilege you've been given, I think is something they should all very much look to do.
We also saw just briefly there, we had Not Me come up on the screen. I think it's a face not a lot of people are familiar with for two reasons. One, this is his first TI appearance. You're making it to a grand final with a veteran and a decorated org such as Spirit here. But on top of that, he shaved his beard off. And I know coming into the grand finals, we were all discussing, is it going to be Voltoro? Well, over on the Chinese stream, Delv was talking to Miposhka and asked Miposhka about, did you guys consider shaving Yatoro's head? And he goes, it worked twice. We don't really think it's going to work a third time. And as the rookie, Not Me had to take it, and he was more than willing to shave his beard instead.
I love that this is kind of an initiation ritual for Team Spirit. I mean, there is a very specific culture in this team, and you can really watch it unfold in moments like these in the TI Grand Finals.
We've alluded to draft alterations that need to be had. The preparation and the pressure of those said drafts really falls on Puppey and Miposhka, and so we'll see how it pans out for game number 2.
Team Vision versus Team Spirit. Grand Finals. Game 2.
Spirit is up 1 game here in a best of 5 for our TI-15 Grand Finals. We had Vision with first pick in game number 1, and it has been flipped this time around. It's going to be Spirit with their first pick, and so it does bring back all of those theories that you guys were crafting. Where does this Ember take priority now? Where does the Slark fall in the draft if you're willing or wanting to take Ember in the first phase?
Yeah. There's this really cool thing you can do here if you're Team Spirit. Like, let's see, we're going to see Vision's 2 first bans. And if they notice that there's like 2 heroes that they want to ban out, that we know they want to ban, and we don't want to give them the opportunity to do it, you can ban out the Slark, forcing them to ban the Ember, and then giving you one of those heroes that you want to play in the upcoming situation.
Yeah, it's definitely something you consider, and with the way the bans have been changed over the years, the order of them is very important, and trading bans in that forced way is definitely a smart and cool tactic. They choose to pass on it in this instance, but it's something that may come into effect in later games as well.
With the Nature's Prophet taken out by Team Spirit, I think if you're Team Vision, you can comfortably lean back on your Lone Druid. I mean, there's always the concern of the first pick Winter Wyvern coming out from Team Spirit, but you have 2 bans here. Instead, they ban the Bane. Bane covers for Ember, it covers for Io.
Yeah, I wonder if these will be the bans that they continue with throughout the series. I know in the finals we played that sometimes you're wrong about the first phase bans. It can be a bit tricky to actually get those right, and it's so much easier from a third eye perspective, or from after the series to feel like, obviously we should have banned this instead. Nature's Prophet was too broken. But sometimes you get mixed up and you ban the wrong heroes in the moment, and I think considering those and really making sure, is this really integral to their draft? Is this what binds them together is such an important thing.
Vision are looking at their final ban here, and what's being left in the pool from game number 1 is that Wyvern, it's also the Earth Spirit, and the Coddle. And now it feels like you're in a tricky situation, because at least 2 of those are getting through, along again with maybe that Ember.
I mean, I think that you have a lot of things to consider here, right? If you ban the Slark, then Spirit picks Ember. Are you happy to play Earth Spirit into Ember? We've seen quite a lot of success in that matchup specifically. Winter Wyvern has been Spirit's go-to first pick, I feel like, in every single game that we've seen them play. When it's there, they always go for it. So it's a tricky situation. You have to kind of look at the matchups that you get and what kind of trade you want to make here.
They definitely could go for a Spirit trade. They've left Earth Spirit, a hero that's been very, very dominant. Laurel's very capable of. Ember is a classic response. It's not really a lane counter anymore, but in the game you buy Vessel and you buy Mage Slayer, and you can negate some of his fighting with your own fighting. So they could be saying, hey, you take one Spirit, we take the other. But Spirit declines the trade and says, Yatoro cooked so hard last game, we're just running it back because we don't think you have answers.
I wonder if they think that Notice Hero Pool suffers very hard against the Shadow Fiend because there is always the potential of a Darkseer coming out to counter the SF, but maybe they think that that's very easy to deal with any kind of Dispel, any Enchantress, any Largo.
I think the Darkseer against SF matchup is very much a laning, or it's not so much of a laning matchup, and I feel like the way that Team Spirit are playing right now, I feel like if they can guarantee that they have side lane pressure from Yatoro's SF, they're just going to go for the SF, looking at the matchup, seeing like nothing really pressures us. They might be counters us down the line, like we saw them earlier today run the TV themselves, so there are ways to deal with it, but they just want to get that pressure early on. They don't want to let the lanes snowball. And Team Vision go for the Earth Spirit.
It's a very solid response. There's nothing wrong with this at all. And to be honest, I already like this opener more for Vision than I did last game. This Earth Spirit hero, it's just so good against all the turrets because you have a way to gap close. And so you get on top of the Shadow Fiend, you make him start running. And the whole advantage turrets have is they can hit you while you run into them. So if you close that gap immediately and you just roll on top of them, well, now suddenly he's running away. And those are valuable seconds that he's not hitting you and dealing DPS.
Yeah, on the flip side of that is Earth Spirit, we've seen him kind of struggle when he rolls in and there's a turret hitting him. Like, if he misses his initial stun and he doesn't have backup, you're getting 5-shotted by the Shadow Fiend. So a lot of it is execution-based at later stages of the game, too. And Darkseer does get taken out. I think once the Earth Spirit shows you can't let Darkseer through, it just creates too strong of a combination.
Yep, absolutely agree. I think, if you have the opportunity to ban heroes, of course you should ban the heroes that counter you down the line, right? You don't need to give away the possible best matchups for your opponents. So, good ban from Spirit here. I'm trying to think, because we've talked about how important the supports have been in this matchup, and I think, there we go. The Coddle's out. This was a hero that pairs very well with both Ember and the Earth Spirit. Any sort of Spirit, really, Coddle's happy to play with. And 9 Class has proven to find opportunities to make moves with this hero that no other player has done at this tournament.
Yeah, it's very impressive. I think also, like the man on camera, he has been so impressive. And the fact that there's a clockwork first phase ban, a hero that no one else really cares about that much, but he is so terrifying with the accuracy of these cogs. They feel like they have to first phase ban it every game. That's so much value. That's why you're getting the Shadow Fiend, is because he's so proficient at that clockwork. These things add up like crazy.
Rue's good too. I do think you have to account for a potential Ember still on Vision, like maybe an Enchantress for Ducalis or something, because it's still in the pool. We know Laurel's going to play it.
Yeah, there you go.
You've got
nice call, Mira.
the spells for the Flame Guard and the mid-pressure. I do wonder, though, if you're getting run at nonstop by an Enchantress as an Ember Spirit, like, what do you need from your support spin?
I think you want pressure elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like Enchantress, the biggest thing about this hero is if she's free to attack. She doesn't actually have any spells, and so it takes her a little bit of time to get the creep, to walk there, to get the right angle, to wait for Enchant to come off cooldown so you can slow with the creep. There's a lot of prerequisites that sort of have to be met, and if there's a ton of fighting and there's gate ganking and all these things, the pressure in the side lanes, well, she doesn't have the time and the freedom to go mid and make moves there. So I think you're kind of like, yo team, can y'all put some pressure elsewhere and let me like do my thing here?
And I think that is Spirit's MO, right? Like, they want to have that side lane pressure to prevent you from going mid, to prevent you from pressuring this Laurel potential Ember Spirit. We haven't even seen it yet, but of course we have to consider it here.
I love this. They're moving the priority up on the Slaughter because we saw it get banned out in the final phases of bans. And I know that they were going for more of a different trajectory when it came to Spirit, but to be able to have it so freely right now, I'm excited to see what it's going to bring in a grand final.
That's really cool. I mean, I love the combo of Amplify Damage with SF, but outside of that, Slardar was kind of the lane counter to Earth Spirit for a while last month, and people gave up on it. I think another nice dynamic with Slardar is Lina, who's very popular in this patch, has been shown to be countered by Slardar the last couple of days.
Yeah, you're reducing options, right? You pick Slardar, you know they're not going to pick any Linas from this point onward. Also, I think what Spirit does is really cool here, because they have the flex on the Slardar, right, between the mid and the off lane, but because they already see the mid laner, they know that they guaranteed have one good lane for the Slardar. Even if there comes the hardest counter pick of all time on the safe lane, you guaranteed can put the Slardar in a nice position, but they could still put it on the off lane if you don't address this. So now Vision have to address the Slardar in the off lane, so that, or they're gonna just end up playing instant mid. And it's a really cool draft here from Spirit. I love what they're doing.
Do you think Enchantress is enough versus an offlane Slardar? Because you can just spell sprint and maybe go for a kill combo?
I think it's a decent hero, but the thing with Enchantress is she doesn't really do anything except auto attack, and Slardar has really high armor, so he tanks that pretty decently.
It's also kind of a cool situation in that Vision, whenever you see Slaughter SF, you want to pick the high armor carries. You want Phantom Lancer, Terrorblade, you want Illusion Bros that can outscale the Shadow Fiend, but it's tricky to actually pick it on 16-17 on the Underlord Rubik spots because you're going to get counterpicked by the offlane because of that Slaughter flex. And so because he can go in either lane, if you pick that carry there, well, suddenly a bunch of magic damage is getting slapped down right after, and you don't have as good of a matchup anymore. And so as it goes to the last pick, they have the option to ban the Terrorblades and the Phantom Lancers, these heroes that counter the Shadow Fiend, which, sort of goes more into just a very nice order of things from Spirit.
We're going to be waiting not too much longer for what Spirit are deciding for themselves. And it is that Undying. And again, it still keeps a lot of things open for themselves because we know how strong of a lane an SF and Undying can be together. But we also just saw in game number 1, Collapse won't shy away from picking up that Undying too.
Yeah, there's absolutely the potential for Collapse to play it. I mean, we touched upon it earlier in the tournament, but this Undying has some purpose when playing against Earth Spirit, where if Earth Spirit rolls in, and nowadays Earth Spirits tend to have a very low level roll, max out the other 2 spells, Undying can slow you, drop a Tombstone, and you just can't get out of that fight. And all the Spirit heroes, they love to kite, they don't like getting slowed, they don't like being rooted down into one place.
And these are 2 of some of the highest strength gain heroes in Dota, in Earth Spirit and Underlord, and an offlane Undying is a very strong counterpick as he scales.
Yep. Keeping the flex potential open. It's very, very nice. And Mira mentioned it earlier, but Earth Spirit rolling in, Spirit loves to conceptually counterpick you. Well, now you want to roll into the Shadow Fiend, well, you're going to get amplified, Undying is going to hit you, and now you're going to get completely exploded by the physical damage. And so they've turned what you thought was a counter back to countering yourself. They flipping that script and changing the way the matchup dynamics work and proving that matchups are not one-dimensional. They're based on all the other heroes at play is such a cool concept.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Spirit does, right? They always look at how to conceptually beat what you're doing. They also take out the TB. It's a great matchup against the SF. We saw them run this exact same matchup earlier today, so I like the position that they're in. I feel like when I think of Earth Spirit and how he deals damage, it's by being tanky. It's by staying alive, letting that Magnetize run. It takes time. But when you don't have time to do that, suddenly this hero isn't that super high magic damage hero that we've seen throughout the rest of the tournament.
What's another carry that Spirit might be looking at taking out then that also fits a similar sort of playstyle or item timing that TB does?
I mean, you're looking for something with a lot of armor. You want heroes that naturally buy agility or buy ACs, buy like something that has a lot of natural armor.
Yeah, we saw the Luna from Yandex earlier or yesterday, and I think that could definitely be something they look towards. It's some hero like that. It's a traditional Agi carry that I love that for them for Vision now that they get Satanic to play what he wants to play. He gets to play the heroes he's practiced for his entire career. The anime protagonist hero, that's what Satanic is best at, and they've set him up for that compared to last game where he's playing the complete opposite.
A lot of his go-tos are kind of uncomfortable in this position though. I mean, I think the only one that looks decent is the Templar Assassin, but we did see her lose to Slardar yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, the Tiny Ban I think makes a lot of sense, right? It's just his ultimate gives him armor. It's a tricky position to be a carry, I think. I'm trying to think of good options. To be honest, the TA, I personally only really liked it when we saw it against the Centaur the other day. It had clear purpose, it's going to destroy its lane, it's going to abuse the minus armor. Here against Slardar, potentially, I feel like that is a draw-ish lane. It's not like a super dominant one.
See the full lane now, have a little bit more information. It's a strong lane. It's not a lane that's easy to pick super hard carries into, and I think that may be a little bit of sort of a pre-countering. We're picking the Axe hero that's going to Blink Blade Mill call you. So if you pick these traditional Agi heroes that are low HP, high armor, well, the Axe is going to be super good against that. So it's a nice sort of preemptive, we know what you want, and we're going to make that a little bit more uncomfortable for you.
Mm-hmm. And things like Lifestealer get solved by the Slardar that came early in Spirit's draft. I mean, Miposhka's kind of cooking today.
Yep, and like any sort of TA routes against Axe are super scary because you one-shot yourself on that Blade Mail, so they deny that potential too.
I think you can choose to just play tempo on Vision instead if you feel that you may fall trapped to lane counters or matchup counters, because you still do have the tempo of Earth Spirit. You have this Enchantress that's going to be running around taking towers. You have the Underlord who can connect on any kind of plays you make. Maybe go for a Luna.
I mean, to be honest, I like Luna. I was thinking about Lone Druid for a bit, and then I looked at Spirit's heroes, and I'm like, okay, absolutely do not pick Lone Druid into this, because there's so many ways to deal with this bear. The bear won't be tanky, and to be honest, I like the Luna. Watson pulled it off. It looked pretty good, and buys the right items. It has a lot of armor. It even has damage reduction that it provides for itself. So it's a pretty cool pick here.
Yeah. You want some ability damage too. You've got a lot of guys who sit behind you. You're tanky.
Okay.
This is risky. Historically, Lifestealer is pretty bad against Slardar because when you press Rage, then he Amplify damages you and Shadow Fiend shreds you. You need to run into the fight. And while it does have a good lane, I think, and can get ahead early, you need to be quite farmed so you can actually get to the Manta, get to the AC eventually, and then the matchups can turn a little.
Yeah, and we mentioned how this Earth Spirit needs to stay alive in order to be able to deal its damage. Lifestealer is one of the few carries that can actually amplify his mid-hero in that way. So I think Vision are trying to then once again answer concepts, not focusing so much on individual hero matchups, but try to look at what does our draft actually need to be able to win this game. We need to keep our Earth Spirit alive, we need to get value out of Magnetize, and we need to make sure that Satanic is on a good lane and he's playing the game from hand.
Okay, in situations like this is where I look towards Enchantress as the X-Factor hero when you need to win your early game. This is where Dakalis needs to put it upon himself to take the towers, to rotate, to go to that mid lane, do a couple of smokes, try to win as many lanes as possible, go through the gate.
It's a collapse Undying, by the way, which does mean our axe is position 5.
Okay, so they flipped the script. That is... It's so on the fly, and I think it's really awesome from Rue, but I wonder if he'll be able to pull off, not because I don't think he's capable, because Axe 5 is just not particularly good generally, and you're saying, Rue, you're going to have a much worse game, and Collapse is going to have a better game. They're trading, one of them has worse, and now the other one has better.
Yeah, so forget what I said about Satanic having a good lane, right? They're deciding, like, we're not going to let that happen. And Spirit are prioritizing the things that they think are more important, right? They think Satanic being shut down is more important than Rue having the best lane possible, or, like, the most comfortable hero possible. So they just believe in his skill.
What about it makes it so that a Lifestealer is having a more difficult lane?
I mean, to be honest, you're just getting decayed. You're a strength hero, and so every time he presses his first spell, you're losing 4 damage. You're losing 4 damage, and that just keeps happening, and you're getting out-traded, and it's an 8 damage differential swing, right? Undying is getting 4, and you're losing 4, and so you keep getting out CS, and that keeps mounting over time, and it becomes a big problem.
So you're either losing the damage or you're getting pushed out of lane, is essentially how we are going to see Satanic play this.
Yeah, pick your poison.
You're just going to get outlasted, unfortunately. I do want to comment that the 5 Axe, I think, will have a good lane too, because Rubik Underlord aren't going to bother him so much. You're just going to press Throttle Hunger, SF's going to press Raises. It's not that difficult of a swing either.
Yeah, I mean, the lane is really strong, and I think that's where he's going to be comfortable. The question more comes in, like, in the mid-game. He's been crucial in making moves, right? Does he know how to find those opportunities with Axe? Because sometimes seeing those things can be tricky if you're not really comfortable on a hero. But to be honest, I think from Spirit's perspective, this kind of switch, it shows that they're, like, really thinking about the game, and it's really impressive to see them do it.
Well, we've loved getting to see that little switcheroo right at the end there, seeing the Axe go into position 5. But let's get a couple more details about it, because Tsunami has Miposhka standing by.
That's exactly what was on my mind. Miposhka seems like quite the last-second pivot. Support Axe. What was the idea?
Idea was like we picked Dynamic and Axe, so we can flex them between both roles. For example, they picked Knights, and we just decided that Dynamic would be much better lineup against Lifestealer and Ench with Coolman. So, but Axe is still just under Shadow Fiend. He anyway will be useful. He anyway will get his blink. He anyway will stun some heroes. I mean Agar, and he will do his impact anyway. But Dynamic will just kill them later.
So you definitely planned this out quite a bit, and I'm wondering, you are now on a 7-game win streak right now at TI. Obviously from players, I hear what a hot streak feels like. You know, your clicks feel better, you always know where the enemy is. But as a drafter, do you also feel like, oh man, I feel hot right now?
Maybe in that grand final I would say yes, because I feel like also support from my players, like they believe in my ideas sometimes, like they trust me. For example, we let Super Spirit in this, but we choose to pick Shadow Fiend. That was my idea, and just wants to like how to like play very tempo and just kill them until he gets his items, for example. And we can see how it will go. But they believe in me, I believe in my teammates, and we just has a very good synergy right now.
And the harmony is working out great, Miposhka. Good luck in game number 2 as we send it to our casters.
Game 2 time, ladies and gentlemen, here between Team Vision and Team Spirit. And before we get into breaking down what's going on and what we're going to see, I believe we actually have some quick words from no one in the booth. Let's hear what he had to say.
I mean, this guy played X5 in the TI finals. Good luck to him. What can I say?
Oh, there we go. Good luck indeed. I mean, as we saw, they know themselves right, Team Vision. And according to Puppy, this is where you got to try the different stuff. Team Vision tried the different stuff in game 1. Didn't work too hot for them. So indeed, no one's like, well, Spirit, you could try something a bit different, put Imru on this position 5. Let's see if it works for you.
I mean, Spirit tried something different last game too, the Disruptor, and it was unbelievably good. I was shocked that it's the first Disruptor when we did see it start playing out versus Ember, versus Io. It did seem like
maybe that's what it is. Rude's like, I just want to play something different every game.
Could be the case. No, I understand. But this pivot, very, very appropriate in the game. They saw how good of a game Collapse also had on that last one. As soon as they see that Lifestealer pick, it can be annoying for Satanic. You're already starting to see that damage differential. Lifestealer's damage early isn't really so high in particular, just because you have very good attack speed that builds in that you can get these extra last hits. But yeah, you're just going to constantly get the KA spammed. You're going to get hit also from the Hoodwink. Can be a bit annoying in the laning phase. So from what I see from Spirit is they're really looking to dominate these lanes. But I think overall, Vision's approach is much better this game.
Oh, then game 1.
Infinite.
No doubt about it. This game, we should get to see some back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
We should get to see Satanic be much more in his element. Sure, as you say, and as we heard from the panel, there are many ways that the Lifestealer can be pressured and can suffer in this game, but it's not a carry out. Satanic on the Lifestealer, it's going to be super comfortable, and even if they do bring in this challenge, he's going to be able to rise up and meet it when he's on something like the Lifestealer.
Exactly. And the Axe pivot, right, to talk about it, Amira mentioned it there, this Axe lane, playing versus Rubik, you can trade pretty decently. Rubik doesn't really have that highest damage in particular in the laning phase, you get hungered. Axe has crazy high HP regen, decent armor to trade with too, so you can be that protective force for a Shadow Fiend, and you provide the catch later on that the team is going to watch a BKB Piercing Disable. They have multiple of them to deal with the Lifestealer. Already we see 9 class starting to pull some waves. You're playing versus Shadow Fiend with Underlord. It's a very difficult lane to be able to pressure Yatoro. Mid lane, pretty even so far. In fact, dead even. But let's see how Satanic deals with when the levels start coming out down here, because this just does not feel like an easy lane for him to just freely last it. Can potential just get burst.
Yeah, especially not when Collapse is going to absolutely be in the zone after his Game 1 Undying performance.
And I love that Na'Vi did this. It's a usual thing we see on the Hoodwinks, but some players have strayed away from it lately. It's just buying a Blightstone. I mean, Orb of Blight, sorry for the name change, but it's very strong versus something like Lifestealer. You're very low armor, it's very annoying to deal with this constant harassment, and Collapse's damage is high. If he gets a couple right clicks with a Blightstone, it's going to be crazy how much he actually deals to this.
Not actually that easy for Satanic to step up to the creep wave. Each and every time he's having to use this rage to just not get caught by these bushwhacks from Not Me.
So it could be that case. Well, sure, it's not a side lane Ember where he's just struggling to get that full recovery, but it's going to be Yatoro with absolute free farm to a bit of a slowed down Satanic again.
They're going to try and go for a bit of a dive here with the Tombstone. Satanic will turn to try and take it out, but a little bit of Soul Reveal comes out off the Tombstone, and Satanic, he's going down. First blood here for Collapse. They will get Not Me.
It's a big creep wave, though. Punishing Collapse with it is not easy. No. Too many creeps.
You can easily walk this one off. I mean, already showing that with this aggression spirit, they're ready to punish Satanic early.
They don't want him to have the free game at all. And talking about the Lifestealer as well, too, they went for this last pick, but by no means is this a free Lifestealer game by any means, right? They're playing into the Corrosive Haze from the Slardar, the minus armor that comes up from the Shadow Fiend, the Axe that has the call versus him, and a difficult lane as we're seeing. So already seeing the approach from Spirit to shut things down. No one, though, he's going to be that one to watch. His Earth Spirit has been phenomenal in these games. Absolutely can punish these side lanes if he's off to a good start. And he is off to a good start into a counter pick matchup.
High class. He's got to be careful. He tried to strike from the side here, but Collapse and Nami just turned towards him.
He's dead. Blood grenades on him. Actually, okay, Nami should have kept the connection.
They should get it with the decay. They do. So another kill here for the duo off lane. Off Team Spirit.
These two are owning. I mean, not me in so many of these games has been incredible for this team. With the newer pickups. Laurel! It's something.
Living on the edge there here against no one. We'll have to sit back here once he's got the South. Bruce coming in with a rotation.
Oh, this is clever.
I mean, the Battle Hunt to slow things down. They were able to prime the bash into the crush. That'll do it. They bring down no one here with the rotation. Nightclubs are going to try and turn up and get for a return.
Oh.
The call's going to buy him a bit of extra safety. Not enough to survive the tower, but enough to maybe just set up for Laurel to get a second kill here in the middle at the same time down bottom. They've just killed Satanic again.
They're breaking the game, and the movements that they're doing is forcing these reactions from Vision that they're not used to having to do. They probably want to have their usual game plan where they're like, okay, Enchantress is able to get a creep. I'm able to swing toward the mid lane, play around this timing. This is so fast from Spirit already.
So early. And of course, top lane, Yatoro.
Free farm.
It's happening again for him.
It is.
And in a situation where this came out very early in the draft, Fog, the question is, did Vision, can you see at least what Vision did try and do to adapt and say, hey, we cannot let the SF, Yatoro, get as free as a game as he did in game 1? Like, do you see an idea here?
I see them having damage mitigation at the least, right? The Underlord plus the Rubik, just the Fade Bolt plus the Atrophy Aura that comes into play in mid-game team fights can be very strong, and they have a gap closer that comes in from the Earth Spirit. But if he falls too far behind, this Earth Spirit, Panel was talking about it too, if he rolls in, you're going to have level 1 roll very early into Undying, SF, Slardar, and Stuns. It's not an easy game for him to just roll in and get out if he does get committed in. Next call. Won't be able to bring down Noticed.
Pulling away from the wave, making sure that Yatoro continues to get all the space in the world in his safe lane.
Amazing start that they're having here. And Collapse now at this point, it's gone to that 7-minute mark too, so even if he does die down here, he will be able to respawn instantly and continue that pressure onto Satanic as well. And they'll have to bring a lot of resources to kill him too, even if they want to. Trying to poke onto Collapse here, they have the creep from the Enchantress, but he's still healthy. Satanic's damage just continues to get limited every single time these decays come out, -8 this time. Yatoro, with a similar rotation that he did the last game, they are reading it. They do get the scan. Spirit bringing even more reinforcements to potentially look for a tower push here and force Satanic to jungle.
He's not going to want to step anywhere near the lane whilst he's aware that this play was looked towards. Spirit know that they know though, and will return Yatoro back up to the top lane.
The nice thing I will say for Satanic in this game, though, even before he has Radiance, he kind of can turn up. Sure, not in like a very aggressive way, but playing into this Infest to protect his Earth Spirit could be these small moves that they can look for if they start to fall too far behind. Mid, Laurel.
Fastest to come in with the rotation. TP's coming in as well for Spirit. No one trying to stand his ground with the magnetized damage, but backup's coming in. No one.
Crush.
Careful, Laurel just kills him off. Laurel should die.
Bushwhack.
Catches down onto the two of them coming in. Collapse turns up, takes out 9 class. Vision, they've got to back off.
The Tombstone's down, they can't handle it. Something I didn't really look at either about the game is they don't really have the best ways to hit this Tombstone. Lifestealer doesn't want to rage and commit for it. There's double supports that are ranged, but not the greatest ones to be able to go for it here. Takalas will be able to finish it off here at the least, get that plus 125. But Collapse, Spirit, you can see the way they're playing. Very active on the map, looking to respond to the moves. Top.
They're going for Yatoro. Yatoro, he's got backup for Not Me. Just right there onto No One. Not Me. Ready to set up onto him. Heavy damage here with the acorn shot.
He's dead! The Amplify was the...
That is a very, very painful death for No One. Turning up to the top, immediately getting destroyed on top, and Notice getting dove, taken out. These are so painful, these early deaths here on these cores, folks.
Not Me is owning. Look at the damage from the Acorn shot with the Orb of Blight, with the Amplify. Earth Spirit just comes in and dies immediately, put at negative armor. These are incredible moves from Spirit, and teams have talked about the best way to deal with Earth Spirit currently in this meta is shut down his early game. The hero is a lot about that momentum. Yes, he has absurd scaling, but if you slow down the vessel timing, this hero can fall off pretty quickly with how much damage he can put out versus these tanky heroes too, which they do have. They have a Slardar, they have the Undying. Laurel having a hell of a game this time. Last game, he did struggle a little bit in the mid-game on the Slark, although his team was owning. This one, Laurel is performing incredible here versus that Earth Spirit. 3k lead first 10 minutes.
They've got their work cut out for them yet again here, Vision.
And Laurel.
Not an easy spot to play from here.
And overall, Laurel, have to keep mentioning the type of game for this Slardar. The fact that he's having such a good opener, he's very good versus all 3 of these cores. Underlord, it goes a bit of both ways, how good the Pit and the Firestorm is, but
Collapse. Remember the body blocks onto Ducalis.
He's getting slowed down here.
Fine time for Laurel to close in. Ducalis, he's gone. See, Nolan coming up the counterplay. Will be able to roll forward, gets the silence in onto Collapse. He'll heal up here with the Soul Rip. Doesn't matter, they'll still kill him.
They ditch him completely. They don't lose anybody else. And he's back to life. Cecil Sturge immediately is going to be able to rejoin the fray. So they cut their losses instantly. And now potentially going to go for another remove here. Not Me and Rue.
I mean, they're preparing for No One returning to the mid.
Has an Innovis on Not Me. No one's not careful here. He could get caught.
Going to see Ducalis come in just so that there is some sort of backup for No One.
These levels on the supports and Spirit, they're both level 6 already. High burst potential here. So much damage amplification. The Slardar, the Undying, as we're seeing come into play, they have to be very careful how they set up for these moves. 9 class, let's see what he's able to steal. That's a really good one. He's going to be able to find the crush.
Just don't want to fully commit onto Lyle.
No, not just yet.
Not me still getting some pretty valuable information.
This is reminiscent of last game. Yatoro in the enemy triangle. Farming Ancients already at this point. Lifestealer not in a position to be able to do anything like that. But the important thing for Satanic is, though, he hasn't been pushed out of his lane. Isn't forced to just jungle right now. He's top 3 net worth. Last game, he was already by far the bottom of the course, so a much better start for him, all things considered.
Definitely has much greater chance to carry this time. No one.
Not me.
Tried to make a bit of a go for this.
Oop, the innate.
He's going down, surely. Yep, Nicalis will take him out. So tried to go for a bit of a cheeky move there against no one. Does not have enough burst on his own to take out the Earth Spirit.
Tried for a solo kill there onto him, so not me. Feeling himself. Super deep aggressive wards as we do see. Not me, I think both of them. Ru was placing one of them around the triangle. Secondary one as we do see there. Placed from Not Me. So they're going to get a lot of read of movements of where the Earth Spirit is going. So we'll see if no one can get the next connections. Laurel, Blink already finished up. Very early timing. Tread, Soul Ring, Blink from the mid lane already.
Starting to head down towards the bottom lane. Not Me's got the catch with the bushwhack on the 9 class. The Corrosive Haze is there. The right clicks come through into the crush.
They're snowballing right now. With this Blink Dagger also, Vision has to be very prepared how they bring the numbers. They have good ways to bring numbers though. With the Earth Spirit, with that Underlord, they can look to match it, but have to be careful how many kills they hemorrhage versus this Laurel Blink at this point, because it's so fast that he's been able to find it. Brew now at this point also, he's playing the 5-axe, he got away with it completely. Now able to just sit back, get some jungle creeps too, gonna build toward that Blink Dagger, and Yatoro, now they're looking to push Satanic off of that lane.
Satanic won't have any interest in showing his face, at least not until the Radiance is done. He's making decent timing on it, considering everything that's going down around him.
They're gonna try for another move here. They're attempting to get no one into something here, but he has to be careful. He can't just die if he rolls in again versus all of this amplification.
They've already taken the tower, and by the looks of it, Spirit, they're already backing away. And with the roll forward, but they did through the gate.
Whoop! Couldn't get the courier either. Tried to get the finish off onto it, just can't. One step ahead, Spirit. Reading the movement. Now the courier will die.
Dire's courier has been killed.
No one really trying to get involved in a move, trying to get himself into a better position. This is one of the rougher starts I think we've seen for an Earth Spirit.
He's fallen behind, and the record's been pretty flawless so far from no one on his Earth Spirit. But
really
this
has.
game, he's having a tough opening.
There's so many ways to kill him. Just so much damage that they're building up. And again, the aggressive wards. They put the same ward they had around the triangle before, just really limiting the moves that Vision can make.
And maybe feeling the pressure, losing track of the timing. It's 14 minutes in. We're going to see Spirit get both of the wisdoms.
Oh wow, that's a big deal, Brew. Able to just walk in and sneak it. Moves aren't connecting. Spirit reading them perfectly. Level 8 now on the supports. Not Me. Almost the same level as some of the cores on the side of Vision with this type of start. Collapse deviating the build this time around is going to go for the Lotus first rather than going for the Octarine. Very good Lotus game when you're playing versus the Magnetize versus the Silence. He will be able to get these saves off potentially. And it's the same build, at least in terms of skill build. Maxing the Soul Rift is going to have that extra sustain. Probably going to play as that semi-pseudo support, but also, you know, we saw how much he was able to do even with that anyway as a carry. And Yatoro's timings, he is having that clear separation. 2,800 over Satanic, his Manta coming out soon, but Satanic close to the Radiance.
He is. It's an infinitely better game than the game one with the Ember Spirit. Still though,
at least for him, but for no one, he's having a much rougher one this time around.
He actually is, honestly. Even compared to the IO from game one, this one's actually feeling tougher with the fact that he's already died 4 times here on the Earth Spirit.
They're seemingly having all the answers for it. Just the Undying plus the Slaughter, I feel like such great responses versus this hero, because he goes in and just dies. So much damage, they have so much control. Tower now, can Vision protect this one here? I don't think so.
He'll have the Radiance.
Okay, see what he can do when he turns up to the fights with it.
He's TPing over. Maybe see if they can do something with the Radiance timing, but Spirit, they're already away.
No one, even though he died, one thing that he does gain from a death, he does get a Spirit Vessel charge. Sure, it's not that big of a positive, but it's something slight. So they're gonna look for a move here to connect. I don't think they can just let Spirit do whatever they want in this game. I actually see it noticed, even running in the smoke. He buys the shard.
This would be huge if they can get Yatoro. Something that it took them a long time to do in game one. they're just going to be off the mark.
They're
They didn't
reading it.
quite read the position that he was in Yatoro
Look at the
would not
line.
get found.
Hey, look at the line drawn. That's Yatoro reading the move. He knows exactly where they are. Not going to get the connection. No one will at least get an arcane rune, but again, just continuing to get slowed down, not finding connections. Oh, and Rue's about to have a blink dagger on the
I
axe.
mean, they're getting crazy farm on the supports and crazy levels.
That makes it pretty hard for you to play this Lifestealer freely. Can't still just get caught inside of these multiple BKB piercing disables. So noticed, we do see a lot of these Underlords do this, buying that shard, but I was surprised he's running in with them with the smoke up here. Laurel,
Oh, he's got the blink up.
he gets it before the blood grenade. Nicely done, Laurel.
Can't catch them. Still going to try, no one. Rolls forward, they'll look to collapse. They'll get it with the silence. Notice comes through with the Fiend's Gate. They'll take the Undying out. Takes the full 5 of them, though.
A needed move at this point to react in this type of manner. They won't be able to get Laurel, though, unfortunately, because he does get that blink out before the blood grenade hits. Brew now, that blink, it is done. So much easier for Spirit to make these moves around the map. But Vision, you said, Satanic, it's eyes on him. With this Radiance, gonna go for the armlet. He's playing versus all this minus armor, and he's Lifestealer, just a great build for him, of course. See how much he can do.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause that's the difference, right? Last game, it was like, well, he's probably not going to be able to carry the game as an Ember Spirit. This game, there is a chance. There's absolutely a chance that Satanic can carry this. It's still incredibly hard.
He might get caught here.
They're going to get the jump with the Crush. Pick up the damage. That's the telekinesis, but Rue's waiting with the blink cool. Gets the lockdown on the Satanic. Satanic trying to run over to the safety of 9 class. Will be able to jump in with the Infest. But the chase is going to continue.
They're surrounded.
Gonna blink up in a second. He'll get the corrosive phase on towards 9 class. 9 class is gone.
Laurel blink in 2,
It's
1.
the second. There's Rue with the jump. Gets the blink call. Dragging Satanic back. Lal jumps in. Bushwhack's there to look.
No one's here.
Coming to look to help out.
Big connection.
We'll get the double with the help of Notice, but no one still dies. And Lal and Yatoro, they can continue the chase over to Notice. Notice tries to turn. The bash comes in. The neutrals do hold Yatoro back momentarily, but the Bushwhack for Nobby still reaches forward, sets up for the raise. Notice falls. They're able to at least bring a fair few of Spirit down with them, Vision, but still losing all 3 cores themselves and not being able to do anything about Yatoro.
Couldn't protect Satanic, but the best trade they've gotten this game so far, this series in fact, getting these extra kills, no one getting the connection. The Radiance damage did start to build up, but just like Toro, just like last time, an amp damage spawns right outside the pit. Gotta be able to commit for this Roche. The scan will connect.
They're a little scared. Well, not scared necessarily, maybe just looking to see if they can find a kill before they go for the Roche.
Panic. Careful. The axe is in position for the pull.
Investors on
He
cooldown
gets
for
it.
10 seconds as well. Rue, he's got the setup into the Bushwhack. Satanic, he's gone again.
This amp damage.
And Yatoro with the amp damage. A couple of right clicks. The uphill miss. Doesn't matter. Still gets the job done. Double kill for Yatoro.
Even Gaben on Spirit's side here, that amp damage spawning down here. They're gonna be able to commit for the Roche. Laurel has a medallion too that he got with his tier 2 neutral, level 2 corrosive haze. This Roche is dead. Back-to-back deaths for Satanic. The last pink Lifestealer, even though he's having a much better entry to this game, still having those 4 deaths. They have a lot of answers for him.
A difficult one yet again here for Vision in this grand finals game 2.
But better than last time.
It is, but...
see ways to enter these fights, but yeah, Yatoro, he is 4K ahead.
Yeah, this... I mean, if they don't manage to turn this game and we go to game 3, surely there's something that they can do to ensure that Yatoro's just not getting these sort of starts 2 times back-to-back here on his SF. He's making this grand finals look easy so far.
He is. And Collapse now, maybe starting to try to get into no one's head as well. No one rolls top, the rune spawns bottom. Not going to be fortunate for him. Collapse will get a shield rune. And with this minus armor, can actually just go for an immediate Tormentor. Super efficient one.
Nice one as well.
He gets it on Not Me, one of the better shards that you can get. And for the side of Vision, they don't really have these BKB piercing disables. They have much harder ways to start fights and force fights. It really has to be around no one. And as we've seen multiple times, he has to be careful, because once he's committed in those fights, he dies in just so fast to all this physical damage. Hard for them to make these moves aggressively. Yatoro,
I mean, they want to
he's
try.
deep.
Got the push. They get the setup here with the bit onto the two of them.
This is a good connection.
Okay, can they bring him down quickly though once they can?
And-
The Aegis gone.
Oh, this is a huge catch. Nightclass gets the sharpshooter steal too.
They're trying to bring back up over to help him out. They'll look for the Requiem, but they're stunned from the Centaurians there to put a stop to it.
Yatoro's going down.
Taken out. No one gets the kill. Rube, he'll TP out of there. A Vision finally being able to take out Yatoro in a situation where he had that Aegis. So a rare sort of misstep from Yatoro where he may have just felt that he was a bit further ahead than he is. You know, he's incredibly far ahead, but not that far ahead enough, Fog, that he could just step up with the Aegis without his team behind him. Vision, they'll punish that any day of the week.
The last game, when they did this type of move, they had Collapse with them. This time, not having Collapse, absolutely crucial. They see that on the side of Vision, they bring all 5 heroes with the Fiend's Gate. Nice move from Noticed. Easier for him to get involved this game. So not having the initiation from the Earth Spirit this time, but having the Ags on the Underlord actually making the difference. So good timing from him.
Solid bit of a slowdown there from Vision. Well needed as well. If Spirit were allowed to continue to pick up objectives with that Aegis, this game would have fallen into an incredibly dire position. But hopes here now for Vision.
Regen has been found. Sharpshooter won't connect.
One. He's around to make it a little less appealing for Spirit to commit for Ducalis. Trying to get him out of here won't happen. Ducalis goes down.
Goes away.
Also get the call onto 9 Class as well as the Battle Hunger. They should be able to pick up both supports. He'll try and lift himself away, but nulls him with the Blink. Double kill for Yatoro.
Speed from Spirit. No Magnetize available. No Underlord Gate. They immediately run at them. We'll be able to catch those 2 supports, but not core kills. Instant smoke though. They do want to find another one. Panic showing himself up top. Armlet is done. Gonna go for that Manta. I like the build. It's pretty standard this game. Going for the Armlet, Manta, AC, playing versus this physical damage. Wants a way to dispel that Corrosive Phase 2. All makes sense from Satanic.
Can they connect with this smoke rotation? Even if these two do, it won't be the easiest of kills.
No, they probably want Yatoro to be in there if they want to go for a triangle play. So it looks like it's not going to be the case. 9 Class, I like that he buys the shard this game. Knows that he needs to be the save for Satanic or for Noah to bail them out of a potential bad scenario. I like it quite a lot. And Noah starting to recover. Has a way to protect himself now too. Does have the plate mail. So we'll be able to potentially survive versus that high person. They're getting aggressive again. Ulti's at the ready. They've got Fiend's Gate.
See who no one can find.
Really big slowdown that they were able to do onto Yatoro once. Can they find another core kill? Yatoro, this time, does need a BKB this game. Not going to do it before the Shadow Blade, but the next item after that will be that BKB versus the Magnetize and the Underlord. So they do have windows. If they get on top of him at the moment, they will kill him. How's Collapse doing with his build? Okay. Still does the Lotus, going for that Octarine, then the eventual Blink Shard for the save. But this time also, Collapse being slowed down himself. Not having that same insane performance as he did on the Undying last time. Things have been slowed down.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Won't get any kills with that move. They do manage to secure Tier 1 tower.
They get a rune as well too for Noah, so he's gonna have the amp damage potential for the next fight, and almost a Shiva's too. So things started to come more and more together for the side of Vision to take these fights versus Spirit.
Spirit. Gonna spot Ducalis. On in the river. Has got no one by his side if no one wants to fight, but seeing the 3 of them make it up.
Three-man connection.
They're going to try, but the BKB's up for Lyle. No one's brought in for this. They've got the cooldown towards him. Lyle coming in with the right clicks into the crush. The saves there, though. 9 Class heavily dragged no one back at the high ground. Lyle still on top of it, though. No one will fall. It's not me. Get the double.
Satanic.
They're looking to collapse, but Notice doesn't have enough damage on his own to kill this Undying. Yatoro can turn over toward Notice. Rujon's back in. Will die for that play. But may have just set up for Yatoro to finish the kill. And no! Another telekinesis set doesn't matter!
That means there!
With the wraparound, gets the triple with the finisher, and now he looks over towards 9 Class. Forceful from Yatoro, they take out another! Satanic is going to try and battle them, but he's surrounded by...
3v1!
He's got to run! Ducalis comes in with the heals. Under the tier 2, they'll hit with the sharpshooter. Is tempting to dive this, get a few more right clicks in onto the Enchantress. He's up to the high ground. Should be fine.
Trades coming in, a couple decent bailouts, attempting to save no one, but still gets chased forward. They have the lift, they have the infest, but the chase forward's there. Not me. What a catch from this Hoodwink. He's level 16. He's higher level than all the core, like almost all the cores. What is going on? This Hoodwink.
He was just in perfect position each and every time to react to what 9 Class wanted to do.
It looking to line it up for him again here. They have the Requiem.
It's tricky.
That's the Rage off.
Gonna try and turn towards not me, into the trees with the scurry. Rage is about to finish, so he has to start backing away.
I mean, Not Me is level 16. He has 25 armor. Good luck hitting it with the Lifestealer. It's getting redirected to the trees. Super tanky as well. Knows that he can play aggressively there. Yatoro with the Shadow Blade, looking for more.
You're the cool, but again, 9+ doing his best to try and bail his cause out each and every time. The Ghost Scepter, keep him safe for now, but it's going to come to a finish. Lars in with the crush. That's going to be noticed gone. Lars considering diving for Warheads. He pops the BKB, turns his attention over towards 9+. The bash is there into the crush. That's 9+ going to buy
Beanscape.
Come in here from Notice.
Look at this Magnetize.
Looking to try and fight back into the tree and turn deep. The Magnetize damage being split between all of them. It's bringing Spirit down. They've lost 3 of them. Yatoro will get the Requiem up to push them back. Turns towards the Carlos. Won't be enough to kill the Enchantress. No one knows he has to push forward. They have to try and punish Yatoro now.
The dust, it's wearing off.
Towards him. We'll roll forward. They'll trap him in the pit. Yatoro, have they got any more detection out? They don't. Yatoro should be fine.
They used all of them. I believe the double dusts were already popped. I think Noticed and the support had already used it. It started to wear off. What a connection. It is a buyback from Noticed, so it's expensive. But look at that magnetized damage. He clipped onto absolutely
the whole team.
Some good connections, some good kills. But as you said, it was a buyback having to be used to be able to fight back there. But at this point, probably pretty worth it.
I think, yeah, you'll take anything that sort of stops Spirit from building up that net worth lead even more. It's going to mean the Vision are closer and closer to buying time for Satanic to get to the point where he can carry this game as the Lifestealer.
Yep. This game, they do have some great scaling. In that last game, you can see they don't have that scaling. Spirit, of course, also has some pretty scaling themselves, too, with all this excessive damage that they can amplify. But a good strike back there, Vision. Getting Satanic in a position now where he's got Manta, he's got the Hyperstone, getting closer and closer toward these extra armor items for the team. And definitely seeing there's damage amplification on the side of Spirit, but there's damage mitigation on the side of Vision from the Underlord and Rubik.
Very, very dead here in the river.
Spirit still looking to snowball with these kills.
It's alright. Ready to hit hard here with the Silver Edge. To find anyone around the tower. Satanic. Oh. Look at the Rage off, but still heavy damage through it. Manta dodge off the call, allows him to get the infest off. He'll still get caught by the Bushwhack. Another big magnetite comes out. The BKB down for a while. The Ghost Scepter's buying some protection in for no one to notice, but not enough to keep no one alive, as no one will fall.
They try so hard to protect Satanic, but Spirit, they know exactly where he is. And no one, even though he's got Shivas and Ghost Scepter, still vulnerable. There's so much mixed damage.
I mean, it was a very cute attempt to try and survive there with the man to dodge at the call, but still not enough to get away from Spirit.
It's insane how aggressive they're playing, Owen. It's 29 minutes, 29 kills. They are not playing a farming series by any means. They want to put this pressure on as much as possible onto Vision, force them to play reactive. That's exactly what it is, right? A reactive game from Vision, which usually it's them on the aggression. Nope, and it just continues to get caught. 7 deaths now for this Earth Spirit.
Bringing in the mid wave and the bottom wave.
And it's for Yatoro. Still only the 1 death is very impressive in this game. Having a lot of magical damage to go through him. Looks like he is going to go back for that BKB potentially here too, which is going to protect a lot versus the control.
He's going to be pretty much invincible with the BKB.
Yeah, he is. Inching forward, double Shivas being picked up here, so they have committed onto these.
They want timing. They want to go with this.
Yeah, they want to win these next fights before that BKB comes out from the SF.
Vision. Time to try with the smoke.
Root. No catch.
Clean catch to start this one. Not a lot the Root can do.
Catch also looking for another one onto Not Me. Satanic's on top of him.
Alright, they'll get the chase down. Caught him in the pit. They'll get the 2 supports.
I think it's the first aggressive move that we see Vision actually able to connect with. It is just the 2 supports again, but it's around a good timing. 20 seconds until Roshan is going to be spawning, and they didn't commit the Magnetize. They did use Fiend's Gate, but they have Magnetize for the upcoming fight. They're going to buy Gem as well, looking to constrict some of that Vision. Yatoro.
Oh, he's going to have to hit here with the Silver Edge. Descartes not standing any sort of chance there.
Not Me with a buyback coming in.
I mean, they know Rose's coming up.
Roche,
yeah, they do not want to let Vision get that opportunity.
Oh, and Not Me also. He has a greater healing Lotus. Something to always watch in these fights. We did see a crazy one the other day from Lorinov with that Enigma play. These Lotuses can be pretty massive in this game. Look how much he can heal. Right, 1400 heal that he's going to be able to apply onto somebody, plus the soul rip they have. Doesn't end up getting them anything here, but they were afraid of the potential Roche play here.
Getting big pickups. I mean, Lal, he's pretty much got this nullifier done. He can get that relic sent over.
And they did commit for the double Ghost Scepters plus the Shiva, so those Ghost Scepters aren't going to be as good in these next upcoming moves either. No BKBs for Vision just yet. Quite vulnerable versus the Disables. Probably, yeah, Krella's going to come up for Underlord, BKB for no one eventually at some point. Keeping this game, it's stuck at 6k. Spirit looking to blow it open here. Is Vision going to be prepared for the move? It looks like they are right now. No one in prime position to break the smoke. He is eating it.
They've hit with the scan. Spirit know the Vision's up here.
Looking for a different angle of approach here.
They were maybe seeing if they could catch Satanic a little split from the rest of the team. I mean, they know they're up on this high ground.
Okay. It's a
going to
warning.
roll in first with the Shivas.
Not Greaves.
The nullifier to take that Ghost Scepter off. The Fiend's Gate comes in now. The turn towards Not Me being able to jump up with the Sharpshooter with a follow pitch there. Tombstone save, buys Not Me a little bit of time, but they'll take the Tombstone out, kill the Hoodwink off.
That's 90 seconds, no Hoodwink. That's a pretty massive kill that they find here. They're gonna chase for more. Yatoro.
I'm trying for Jakalis. I'm not getting nearly enough hits off.
Yatoro going more greed.
I like it.
He's going MKB. It's a very Yatoro style, trying to stall out that BKB as long as possible. See if Vision can punish that.
No one. He's ready to try and look for Lal. The silence onto him, but Lal does still have the BKB ready to press if he gets pressured, so it's not an easy hero to chase for.
They have this 5v4 advantage at the moment. Really looking forward to get more catches. Take some of these wards out as well too at the gem. Fighting back nicely here, Vision. Gonna start that Roche. They have the stolen corrosive haze. Owen. This could catch Spirit off guard with the pace that Vision's going to be able to kill it.
Spirit's got to make a move quick if they want to try and stop this, and they are going to be fast with it. The smoke's there.
It's only 4 of them. They do have the MKB though, so heavy hits from
Yeah, they're still pretty strong in the 4v5 with the lead they have. They're going to get up straight away with no one into the core with the telekinesis, and then Nightclaw's trying to save him. Get him out of the side, but he will not be able to keep him alive. No one.
Yatoro though.
The buyback, Satanic tells them what
he's dead.
They brought down Yatoro. He's out for 90. Satanic backs out of the fight for now. Back in the river, no one. With the buyback comes back in. Helps to bring down Lal. Helps to bring down Collapse.
They're killing them all.
Kill through. Nightclass, will he live? The zombies for the Tombstone kill him, but it doesn't matter. Vision, they take the fight. Will move into the Roche. This Aegis is there.
They're doing it, Owen. Showing that they have a fighting chance in this series. Bringing it to Yatoro. Yatoro going for the greedy play. As soon as he gets got on top of, he is at risk.
Yeah, I mean, I love, foregoing the BKB to get the big, hard-hitting items, but that is one of those moments where,
absolutely
your teammates probably pinging the lack of BKB as indeed Yatoro gets completely surrounded, and they were so quick with that play, right? No one immediately buying back, saying, hey guys, they're going to throw everything on me. You'll see it here, the buyback, there is no delay. As soon as he goes down, back in, he knows this fight is there for Vision to take.
And Yatoro's just stuck inside that Fiend's Gate. He really can't move, has to just try to stand his ground. They'll give no one the Aegis since he did use that buyback before. I think Satanic is starting to feel like he's in a state where he doesn't need that second life either. He has the AC, HP pool is starting to build up also from all these feast stacks. Vision now.
Here we go.
With a clear advantage in this game.
Finally getting some real good control in this matchup after a very tough game 1 and a rough kind of first 30 minutes, but now with that play, setting the score even on the net worth.
And getting that kill, right? Not me, using the buyback earlier, dying. It causes this type of chain effect that comes in here for Vision. And maybe he's finding another kill. Yatoro.
They're going to find him.
Will be able to live if they do find room. Big moves from Vision.
How much do they want to go for? Aghanim's nearly done on Satanic. 500 gold and he's got the point booster.
One of the dream answers versus these turret heroes, just jumping inside of them. It gives you multiple different lives, essentially, on this lifestealer to play with. Getting aggressive again. Satanic starting to beat on these towers. For Spirit,
they'll get enough momentum.
They will. And now it does feel like, though, Yatoro might need that BKB for that next fight.
I think so. I don't know if he's going to want to turn up if he has to before that BKB's done.
Now maybe he just goes for the Satanic because he's lacking in some items, right? Like some slots. Where's he going to put it in? He's just going to replace the Mask of Madness with the BKB. We'll have to see what the choice is from Yatoro. Great strike back here from Vision. Now having a gem for themselves. Ducalis also getting close to a BKB himself. Can't write off the Enchantress' scaling. Does have this Hurricane Pike. His damage is going to start to build up. Such an important moment for Vision to be able to find this connection. A Hex soon to be picked up also for Notice, so they're going to have these chain disables versus the Shadow Fiend.
They'll go for Yatoro every single time they see him in the fight.
He is priority
BKB.
number one. Laurel's been able to sneak himself out because he does have that BKB, but as we said, Yatoro, he is stuck in the fights. Satanic, these items, they are quickly flurrying in. Like you said, that Axe is done. The Basher's starting to get queued up next.
On me.
The victory.
They found him around the mid. We'll try and jump away, but they're
Fiend's
ready
Gate.
to drop the Fiend's Gate. Lock him down here. No one, not missing a spell at all. Everything's landing. Not me. He cannot escape notice, surely. There's the Acorn shot coming in. Satanic, ready to help finish the job. And for 70 again. A long time here to not have the full 5-man up on Spirit.
Just on even footing, you're seeing how much stronger Vision is. Sure, there's no gold lead, but you can feel how much stronger their lineup is now at this point, and having this Aegis too. Gonna start beating on high ground with the banner. Yatoro has the Ogre, or the Mithril picked up here, so you can see he does need this BKB for that next upcoming fight. A Hex, though, is picked up, so he could get chain stunned before he gets it off as well.
And Satanic, he's just taking the barracks.
Posing the question to them, how do you push him off? He's still dead for 35 seconds. They need their entire squad.
I just have to sit back and watch this Mibrax fall. Vision, get away with the objective. No interruption.
Very good connections. Yatoro, BKB's done. He sells the Mask of Madness. Why he doesn't have that lifesteal to stand his ground, but at least has the magic resistance versus this heavy disable that's coming in.
We'll have that window in 30 seconds where the Aegis expires if they want to try and strike then.
I think that's probably the biggest move they could do, right? You smoke, you look for the Earth Spirit, and if you kill him, you're going to have a massive number advantage since he's not going to have that buyback to rejoin into the fight. Initiation's still going to be crucial for both sides. Collapse also now. Switching the build again, right? Now he's got an Aghanims this game, so looking to build up in the longer team fights, in particular with these decays.
Vision.
Catch again.
They're ready with the setup. You look towards Lyle, force the BKB out of him immediately. Rue will get the call for it. Only on to 9 class. They'll turn and take him out very quickly with damage to Yatoro. Hex, it's on to Yatoro. Satanic turns towards the SF. Yatoro put the Manta back away. Now try and turn stand his ground. The Infest comes in to try and save Ducalis. Allows Ducalis to get the BKB off. Rue comes in with
Yatoro's getting hit.
No one with the call control. Onto no one. They bring him down. No one's gone. But they've lost Rue and they've lost Lyle.
Can Yatoro get out? It looks like he can.
Collapse is burning up a lot of HP in this fight.
They're buying back on Rue.
Satanic's kind of chomping through that HP though. Collapse starting to fall. Rue's going to be able to come in and keep him coming in with a big company. He had to buy back for this.
Yatoro?
Yatoro tries with the Requiem, but the range was up, and now with the Infest,
He's in trouble.
Yatoro wants love.
He's alive?
Yatoro able to separate himself just in time from Satanic. Satanic tries to continue the chase. Lyle comes in with a crush. Lyle and Rue had to be so careful. They bought back for this.
Yatoro?
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 Still alive! They take down the 4 of them! Only Notice left alive!
Holy crap!
As well!
What is this outplay?
Insane plays from Spirit coming in with the buybacks and Yatoro turning back up to the fight on barely even 10% HP!
I think he gets saved from a soul rip in the midst of things. I don't know how he survived this, just dancing on the fray of the fight. What a play from Yatoro and the buybacks from his team.
Oh, he pushed it to the limit yet there, Yatoro, and it pays off.
And confidence from the team to join Collapse. Just Collapse is just building up that strength with the decays. This is insane outplay. Yatoro literally playing with, what, 10% HP?
And even less.
For what? For 50% of the fight as well,
watch him in this fight.
This is insane. It's literally all eyes on Yatoro of how he's playing on the outskirts and allowing his tanky cores to give him that information.
I mean, that's the thing. He trusts so much in his teammates here. Even at the start with Lyle and Rue going down, Lyle and Rue with these buybacks say, hey, the fight is not over. We're getting back in there. And Yatoro, he says, Okay, he's ready to turn, continue to fight. He does not run. We'll see it here.
Absolutely insane. Look at him just standing his ground. Satanic, he gets the invest onto him, right? But I think this is Soul Rip, right, that saves him here? It is. So the last second Soul Rip.
At the same time, the damage was coming in.
Absolutely.
And Yatoro says, right, if you save me like that, I've got to save the state of the game. Ready to find the angle to get back in. Very much knowing that Lal and Rue are going to be able to live long enough to provide Yatoro the chance to get the damage out and allow Spirit to find the team wipe.
There's a reason these two teams are in the grand finals. You're seeing the display from them. And you have to feel, I mean, Satanic's like, you got me crazy.
I mean,
how is he alive?
It's like, what can you do?
What can you
That's a what can you do kind of situation.
Ah.
Yatoro's doing this.
Unbelievable stuff. Satanic now finished up for Yatoro, so he does have that secondary life lapse. Surviving that whole fight too, has the BKB. Wow, that was... I could rewatch that replay 15 times because what an absurd team fight. I mean, from both sides in particular, but my God, Yatoro.
Yeah, those are the kind of moves you've got to be making as a carry to win an international.
Truly.
He knows this, Yatoro.
Absolutely, Owen. Level 26 now for him, back up to this 4K lead. Oh, that's a bit interesting too. Don't see that one get picked up too often. Doesn't take the Shadow Rays, applies attack.
I don't mind it. And I'll tell you why, because that little bit of a change can sort of catch you off guard. When you're trying to kind of hold back on the Rage and the Infest, it might surprise you. That little bit of a difference on the Requiem timing, it could trip up even the best of carries.
I don't think I've seen anybody take this talent.
It's big
instead of
break.
the other one as a carry.
And these are the sort of moments again in the international grand finals to do stuff that's going to be just that little bit of a difference in feel and vibe that catches the enemy cores off guard.
This is such an amazing game. Best game of the tournament so far here for me. 40 minutes in, super even.
Yeah, both teams absolutely with a chance. As much as that fight was phenomenal for Yatoro, did obviously mean that they had to use
it was a lot of
buybacks.
It was.
This can be punished by Vision.
Hey, buybacks feel like it's going to be the name of the game, this one, right? Earth Spirit did use the last buyback, ends up winning the fight. This time, it's Spirit with the buyback, so could see it go the other way again.
Well, that's the
right
thing,
afterwards.
As impressive as it is to win the team fight in that fashion, it's not the way you always want to do it, right?
Sure.
The plan is never to sort of let your carry get to sort of as close to death, the edge of death, as the situation was there for Yatoro. That's not always plan A.
And
so, Vision, next time round, if they're able to push him over the edge that little bit more, the outcome could be vastly different.
Level 25 starting to get hit. Lifestealer level 25, Underlord, Shadow Fiend, and the Slardar and the Undying. So 3 level 25 cores on the side of Spirit.
So much money on Satanic. He's got pretty much 5k gold.
Because he has to eat the Aghanims, and he's still considering what he wants to do. If he wants to get more damage or a Bastion.
I mean, they're going to see Yatoro. Satanic's going to go straight over the wall. Rude's able to keep it coming in with a call. Has a bit of control here. On towards Satanic. The head's down to Yatoro. Yatoro punches.
Satanic?
Yatoro! But Satanic's bringing Yatoro down.
Too much damage.
Down. Yatoro's gone. This time, Satanic reigns supreme. Ready to go over towards Galactus. Trying for the BKB TP out. The damage is
too much.
Satanic gets the double.
Oh, and just like that, might be able to push toward the base. The Undying respawns. Does have the Ceaseless Surge available, but no Yatoro for 80 seconds.
I mean, it's always going to be the difference maker, right? If they can kill Yatoro at the start of the fight,
that's the key.
A much different outcome to these team fights.
And 9 class now, I think this is the 3rd time I've seen him be able to steal Corrosive Haze. So that extra physical damage, it makes the difference.
Oh, not me, might try for a steal. No, he's not going to get the chance. They were ready for it.
They had to outplay pretty hard in that last fight on Spirit with the buybacks, but now truly seeing Satanic able to stand his ground. He's able to just stick on top of that Shadow Fiend. Has the damage. That's a big Aegis too. Refresher Shard as well. And 9 class, honestly, do not steal another spell. Keep that Corrosive Haze. It's probably the best one he can get this game.
Yeah, because if they get that sort of situation where they can just surround the SF, that's just going to make that situation so much more easier. They will kill him so quickly with how much Satanic has ready to take him down, especially when he's going for, obviously, with the Stadeless next. He wants to make sure that he pops Rage, hits this SF, and Yatoro is just dead. There's not going to be a situation where Yatoro can stand and trade back against a Lifestealer with a Daedalus.
That also was a fight with Spirit, like you said, the triple core level 25s. Not Vision with the triple core 25s. Now no one does have that Magnetize available for himself.
Satanic.
2 seconds till Yatoro respawns. They will respect it. They'll start backing away.
He finds some sort of grab.
They see them. A great ward.
Risky. Very quick with the blink out, but Lali's caught out on the low ground, has to put the BKB, turns over towards no one, but no one gets the BKB over himself. Yatoro pumping in the damage into no one's gone. They get the core control on towards Satanic. Satanic pops the Manta, who's considering diving for more, will hold back.
They don't want to chase on high ground versus Tombstone. Still a bit dangerous.
1 for 1.
Collapse inching forward, 9,200 HP.
That's a lot of health.
They have so much percent damage.
I mean, Collapse, he wants to still kind of go for this. Chasing them down.
Okay.
Also the BKB onto Carlos. Not me. He tries to get the grab with the Satanic, but Satanic's ready to turn straight away. Healing back up the full. Healing fist over towards not me. He's gone. Satanic, he closed the gap on Yatoro. Yatoro has to separate himself with the Silver Edge. Tries to turn
the backline though.
On towards the Lifestealer. They've killed off 9 class. And Notice though is ready to have the Guru comes in. Get the goal onto the both of them. They take the Aegis out of the hands of Satanic. They bring down Notice. Can they deal with Satanic a second time though? 9 class ready to reach back in to help out so Satanic can bring Collapse down. They may have got the Aegis, but again, Satanic comes out on top.
Buybacks after buybacks after buybacks. They've got the numbers to go for it here. Collapse is actually going to go for it himself. I mean, Vision going to buy back and force the issue.
They can do big damage. There's 3 heroes dead on Spirit without the buybacks.
Inching forward with the catapults. They won't be able to retrieve that gem. Does get picked up from the courier.
Do they want to try and push for the 3rd set? They don't know that the buyback... Okay, the buyback's actually back up here for Brew on the Axe.
Okay.
But no buyback on Lal.
Go back up, get the Daedalus finished, take the outpost, take a second here to consider their options. They can look for the aggressive play. No one is respawning. Might just look for the jump onto Yatoro. He's got BKB at the ready. I mean, they do have the control.
Love this Daedalus pickup. Not something you always see as an item of choice for the Lifestealer, but in this matchup, in this game, it's the perfect pickup.
He was debating which one he wants, but he wants to just be able to rip through Yatoro, because Yatoro doesn't have Butterfly, so he can't just go for this hard right-click damage item. Yatoro is starting to think about going for that Butterfly.
I mean, that's the thing.
He sees that.
There's going to be this window where ideally Vision want to bring the fight to Yatoro before the Butterfly's online. Because when that gets picked up, things get a little more complicated again.
I feel like Vision has a window right now when this Underlord respawns to potentially just go for the Mega Creeps.
I mean, for sure, they know that Spirit's buyback situation is going to be in shambles. Nobody really having the buyback available on Spirit. Yeah, Yatoro, he's going to spend up.
He has to. Needs every little bit, as we can see. They need to outplay in these team fights on the side of Spirit.
And maybe that timing will be the difference maker. Sure, there's the Daedalus there, but Yatoro has got the Butterfly to respond. He's got that evasion.
Let's see if he sees it, because now also, good to see the Lifestealer buy the BKB himself too.
He has the luxury to switch up his build, Satanic, and he's sitting with 5.6k gold in the bank still.
Okay,
so
Spirit
can make alterations.
Smoking up Spirit, they're probably trying to catch Vision off guard before there's this 5-man unit, but Vision, they're running as 5 even with no one. Notice, I love that he's joining in with this because he has the Hex. He has that instant disable to potentially just blow up Yatoro.
Again, we just have to be aware. Spirit, 0 buybacks at their availability at the moment.
Inching forward here, no one. A Bloodstone, a Cheese, multiple lives, a refresher now for the Underlord. The fight is going to be so hard to maneuver.
They're going to be long and messy.
There's going to be so many of these pits.
No one. When they try and check out the situation, the will turn straight away. The crush, they come to damage, the call comes in. Yatoro bringing no one down, they're taking it out. Satanic, he'll jump forward, looking towards Love, but he has to start backing away as the range comes to an end. Yatoro slides forward, wants to chase Vision out of the base. The Ghost Scepter, keep Notice protected. Collapse, he'll jump forward, over towards 9 class, bushwhack to look down the Rubik. He'll try and lift himself away. Spirit, they'll continue to chase 9 class out. The rest of Vision, they're out of it.
Spirit just so good at recognizing how they can fight and no one not giving respect to the damage. I think he thought, because, I have Infest, I have Cheese, I have Bloodstone, I have enough to be able to take through all of this. No, you do not, my friend. The damage from Yatoro is there.
I mean, you maybe underestimate the fact that Yatoro has this Butterfly and the damage has just stepped up that much more with that pickup. The fact that he spent up, foregoing the buyback gold so that he could have this next big pickup for the defense.
Look how much damage he did, right? 5,600 from the Shadow Fiend in just a 4-second window. It's a lot of DPS, Owen. And continuing to deliver 50 minutes in, just a 7k lead for the side of Vision. Spirit showing they can fight even without the buybacks in that fight.
Do they want to go for more? Full minute without 9 class.
It's up to Yatoro. Might look for the jump. I mean, if a hero does show, they can't pop them. Satanic little bit harder to grab, but the other heroes for sure. And you do see Satanic. He queues up the MKB immediately.
It's going to be needed. And what's it going to be? What, arm it out for the MKB?
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing else to replace. So.
Well, unless you're going to play him out phase boots, or is that?
No, you need mobility. No way.
Yeah.
Just give it to you. Nice game. So close here. Both teams playing so beautiful. Execution, absolutely everything here at this point. As you saw, Ducales, they're starting to pick up some of these Aeon discs, but there's always the answer. We're seeing this nullifier from Laurel a couple of times now, really tripping them up. That's why you did see no one selling that Ghost Scepter. It's been some time to be sold it, of course, but yeah, they have the answer for these Ghost Scepters in quite a few moments. I think they'll just go for a quick little Tormentor here on the side of Spirit.
This selection needs a shard. It's, okay, rude. Alright.
Pretty decent one.
And not a bad one.
Hanging on to the greedy still for Rue, looking to still get that increased greater healing lotuses. How many of these do we have across the board here? I think it's just, okay, it's 2. So Spirit have these extra heals to pump into Yatoro. Vision not having those lotuses at the moment. And damage bottom. Oh, and
ooh,
this is a big one.
Then they still have the bottle right, so they can ensure that they hold it for the prime moment in the fight.
No one's going to keep
No one? Okay. He wants it, bro. I wondered if maybe they would have given it to Satanic, but not going to be the case. No one, of course, has this Earth Spirit. Still does a crazy amount of damage.
As long as he doesn't die at start of fights, right? He needs to be a little bit more careful how he just rolls in. Either that or... Nine class has to be there for the lift bailout if he does roll for that.
Because that is the thing, right? No one... He does have to be the one that initiates. Nobody else is really going to be going in first out of the line.
They can use this just a Fiend's Gate to give vision, to give the information.
Sure, okay.
I think that's the key thing. So for me, no one in that last one, he kind of just YOLO'd without vision. I think next one, you throw the Fiend's Gate at least to get some information, and then you can maybe pick and choose if you do want to roll in. Because as you see, they have the damage for him. They will blow him up in one shot. Rue will just blink call him. Laurel will just corrosive haze him.
I know where Spirit is now. Here's the gate. To try and start things off Collapse.
A lot of damage building up. Look
at the corner of the side. Yatoro seeing if there's going to be an angle to get in on this to try and help Collapse out. They're trying with the wraparound, but Collapse, he's already gone. Satanic takes him out very quickly.
He's got Ceaseless Thirst, though. He did use buyback before, but he can rejoin into the fray with these boots travel. Bots 2, in fact, so can't TP right into the fight. See his team. He probably tells his team, guys, don't help me. I know I don't have buyback, but I've got the Ceaseless Thirst built in.
Roshan is back up. Both teams take this down very quickly.
Oh, big steal, actually. Didn't notice this one. 9 class has the Tombstone with the Shard. So even he can bail out in multiple different ways now. He can lift, pull them out, Tombstone protect no one as well, too, in some of these scenarios.
Vision, they're going to try and see if they can get a grab outside on the map.
Kind of bluffing that they're doing the Roach to potentially get a catch on top of the ward. Ducales stepping forward, trying to protect his ward. Will get taken out.
And they're going to drop the Tombstone here.
Very aggressive.
Just to sort of hold this area and make it that much more difficult for Spirit to try and get anywhere near to the Roche.
Notice. We'll start the Roche. Spirit gonna look for a wraparound play to get over here. It's dangerous. A try. Bottom. It's a strong rune, an arcane rune. Not me. In a very aggressive position to give some information.
He's super deep, but he's kind of getting away with it.
I like that play from Notice. Tanks the sharpshooter just so they don't see how low that Roche is even. And now Satanic does get this Aegis. Has the Nullifier himself as well to be able to stick onto some of these pesky targets. These Ghost Scepters won't be as strong now at this point. Laurel hanging on to a lot of gold here. He has not really increased too much in the last few moments.
I mean, what is the item?
He's thinking about it. I saw him queue up like 2 different things, so... Bloodthorn can catch them off guard here. Maybe he does just do some type of armor item. See what the option's going to be for Laurel. Because he's literally just been an Axe BKB Nullifier for 30 minutes. He's game in. Not me. Too slippery. That blink. Safe. Aegis. For 4 minutes, Vision looking to hunt. Spirit looking to just avoid and just play for the high ground D. They have to protect this last set of racks. They don't want to get caught outside by any means in the fight.
Very close to having all their buybacks back online.
How long? Pretty much have it, yeah. Now, 300 gold left for Collapse if he can't find that. Just needs one kill in the fight or a couple of these creeps that are coming into the base.
We've got to watch out for those, because as we've been seeing so far this game, both teams very ready to come in with buybacks to throw extra lives into the action.
Refresher Shard, it is on no one now. So it does have insane amounts of magnetize if you can keep it spreading. It will last forever.
See what they can do with the push-up vision. Rax slowly but surely starting to fall.
Hollis pops the BKB himself. Won't have to deal with that nullifier so far.
And just trying to see what he can force out of Spirit.
Buildings are dropping.
I mean, he's doing a decent amount here. He's going to get caught by the core, but the Tombstone save will be there.
Magnetize is starting to spread.
And they have to start backing off. I mean, Ducalis is pretty much just taking these racks down on his own.
They're going to get the Magnetize.
They can't get him off the racks. The barracks is taken. The Mega Creep's out here for Team Vision.
Super clever way to go for the push, not showing Satanic at all. Just, okay, you want to go for Ducalis? Go for it.
Because it's a hard call to make, right? You don't want to overcommit onto the Enchantress, but at the same time, that's the Enchantress taking your barracks.
I like this much better, right? Instead of no one just YOLO rolling in, play it slow. You don't need to force too hard there. Spirit, let's see if they can come back from Megas. We saw one in this tournament.
I think that's the only time it was done right.
And I was
in a long time.
I was talking backstage. They were actually saying in multiple TIs we have not seen many Mega Creep comebacks. So if Spirit can do this in this type of way,
especially nowadays when it seems harder than ever.
Oh yeah. Hydra Breath now starting to get picked up. Yatoro looking for that extra bit of damage to go through these tanky cores. 25s across the board, even the support's starting to get it. We're getting toward these later stages, Owen. 3 minutes until tier 5 neutrals. Vision still has Aegis for 2 minutes. They want to take advantage of it. 9 class hanging onto this Tombstone.
That's even with the Mega Creeps. It's going to be hard to sort of push this game over the edge. Because of all the buybacks the Spirit have available. Lal, BKB to run. They've got their hands on the Collapse. Collapsing down pretty quickly. He'll be able to get into the Tombstone. Satanic's going to have to use the Rage there to take the Tombstone out. Will succeed. Bring Collapse out of the fight. They've got Collapse. They did lose to Carlos in return.
Panic lifted out.
And Klaus able to take him away to safety. No,
Magnetize is building up already.
He's keeping it going. Yatoro's getting very, very low here off to the side. They'll heal him up and provide him with the Lotus. He'll heal back up with the Satanic. Buyback did have to come out here though from Collapse to try and continue this hold.
They'll back up and reset. They're happy with that. The Magnetize plus the Mega Creeps were literally killing Yatoro.
Each and every buyback that they can get out is a step closer to being able to close this game 2 up, Vision.
Oops, Alice. Well, beat away his career there. Bit of gold. 1 minute left on Aegis. Buybacks have been the name of the game, so Collapse not having it. He will, fortunately, though, 30 seconds, he does have Ceaseless Third, so he has that kind of built-in buyback for himself.
That's a rough one there for Lal, though, spending up for the heart and losing the courier, so won't even get the benefit of taking this risk to put the buyback to the side.
He lost his heart?
It's gone, the courier sniped.
That's 3 minutes without it. Now his inventory looks really sad. Might be the saddest 59-minute inventory when you look at it without that courier, of course. Lines being drawn, Satanic saying, let the lanes force in. We've got 50 seconds until tier 5 neutrals. They could set up for a potential gank to find one of the Spirit heroes when they are looking for those neutrals as well, since they do have the Fiend's Gate. A lot of global potential. And the buybacks. It's something to keep looking at here. They're going to have so many numbers on the side and Vision.
Still not in too much of a rush, Vision. They can take this bit of the game pretty safely. They don't have to jump high ground anytime soon. Just finish this next round of items.
Abyssal now for Satanic. He is 6-slotted.
Getting harder and harder for Yatoro to play his part in these team fights. He's done a great job up until this point, but against the Mega Creeps and against the items now that are online for Satanic, the matchup's not easy to play.
Because he's all the damage. Well, for Vision, there's a lot of mixed damage coming in. Collapse.
They get the setup. Roll forward straight away. They're in on the Collapse. He's out. Buyback still on cooldown.
Sees the Sturge, though.
Okay, so he's got this final life, really.
Yatoro looking for an angle to catch 9 class, but the Ghost Scepter's there. Jumping forward. Very aggressive from not being.
He tries to see if he can get a catch. Won't be the case. Vision already out.
They're trying to take fights on their own terms on Spirit. Vision, they're trying to take fights on their own terms as well, too, with the patience that they're taking, stepping back 60 minutes. Let's see what they find.
1 minute until the heart is available again for Lal. Sure. And we've got to keep our eyes on Yatoro. He's got a lot of money. So just sort of a question of how he's going to shift up the build. See them chasing them outside of the base. They get the call on the Do they have the damage though? They're going to try and focus no one first. Eo just keeps him safe. He'll use the BKB to fire all the way. Clutch stays on top of it.
Eating him.
The heals though. Yatoro back up to Bruno's full HP. This time round, Yatoro wins the battle against Satanic.
Gets dunked. The base, the creeps are doing it.
They get back to defend. In fact, they might just do it. The TP back and they hold. They'll get the creeps off the base in time. They'll kill off Ducales, but my goodness, that was a little bit too close for comfort there, folks. The Ancient falling incredibly low.
Oh, and they use the glyph as well, too. There can just be a position where they just buy back and all in for it.
We'll see if they do something in line with that.
Anybody got a Crimson Guard on the side of Spirit? They need one desperately right now.
They're going to have to make that purchase. Not me.
On bottom.
I got rid of the call. Got enough to burst through 9 class, though. He's got noticed by his side here. We'll get the lift up. Brew. Can he finish 9 class off? The battle hunger stacking up. He will.
Rapier picked up here.
It's absolutely required. There's the Crimson for collapse.
Okay, they've got some of these tools, but look at them waiting. They can just Fiendskate in and just all in.
They really could. And I think they might just do so.
Oh, and amp damage, Yatoro.
But is it enough?
This game is absolutely
Can Spirit really turn this around? They've been mega creeped. Their Ancient falling down to nearly 10% of its HP. No fortification left for Spirit.
Who's got the Crimson? It's collapsed too, so it's a very strong Crimson Guard. If he pops the Flesh Golem, he pops the Crimson, it's gonna block almost all the damage that they're gonna be able to dish through it. Crimson also purchased from Noticed. Both teams.
And on the plus side for Spirit, right, it's only really Satanic that can tear through the Ancient. Nobody else is hitting too crazy or...
Sure. That's true.
So if they keep track and keep hold of the Lifestealer, they'll have a chance of keeping their Ancient alive.
Oh my god. It is going to start healing, so it looks like they can't just fully all in for it here just yet. Brew is also, look at the positioning. Brew is like, okay, I'm the BKB piercing call. I'm the answer if they do try to go for it here. Collapse is the answer to protect Yatoro. Swift Blink, Divine Rapier, Stygian Desolator with the Audacious.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, I gotta stand back up.
These heroes, some of them are gonna die and eat like 2-3 hits.
Yeah, I gotta stand back up.
You gotta watch out for Yatoro's moves.
Level 30's been hit as well too.
I mean, if they get their way out of this situation in the grand finals of the International, this is gonna be insane from Team Spirit. It still looks like they're absolutely against all the odds here. Because Vision, they must feel so close to being able to get this game to victory.
2 minutes left on the glyphs. The lines are drawn. All the lanes started to get forced in.
There we go. Vision, ready to put an end to this game too.
Tense moments, not me, trying to shove out the waves. Might get caught. He is.
They've got him with the Hex. And he does not, he does. He has to go for buyback. So not me. We'll be ready to return.
Creeps have gone in. Back door is gone.
And here comes the jump. They're going to get the gate on towards Slav. They get the lift up and force out the BKB. Yatoro ready to present himself. Turns up. Magnetize. They're going here by no one. Big damage. Forcing no one to have to roll away.
Magnetize spreading. The Fiendskate.
I mean, Vision approaching. Yatoro's getting very low. He's going to put the BKB and has to heal up on the back of the creeps. He's had to use that pretty early. Satanic ready to now close it on towards him. The pit dropped down on towards Yatoro. Roll fall from no one. Yatoro caught in the stun. He's gone. This game looking to be over as the Ancient remains exposed. Vision close up game 2. It's 1-1 here in the grand final.
My god, what a game 2. Oh, and we've got 3 more games potentially.
What a step up from Vision. Very much showing that game 1, it was just a draft issue.
Shut the hell up.
The strategy. This game 2, they turn up, they come to play. Sure, at the start, we see Spirit popping off again. Yatoro's SF looking to get out of control. And still the very impressive KDA, but it doesn't matter. Team Vision with the itemization, with the plays this time around, and the recovery. No one was having a very slow start on his Earth Spirit, but at the end, he had to be the one to go in. Him and Notice very much making the calls of when to start the fight, and they chose the right times. They made the right progression. They get the win. It's 1-1 here with Team Vision taking game 2.
Everything was so perfect for Vision. It all ended up coming together for themselves, and we thought that this Spirit advantage in lanes was going to be enough to see a similar of what happened in game 1. But Vision go, we're not bending over that easily. It's not going to be that sort of game at number 2, and I am so impressed with how they were able to keep their composure, especially when it comes to pushing high ground. Quinn, you get into this position, you're pushing it, you're at the advantage, and you think it should be easy, but at the end of the day, it isn't. And too many times at once, if you go all in, that game slips out of your hands. So massive props to Vision and how they tackled that.
Yeah, Spirit just got a little bit cocky, and it only takes a couple of fights before Earth Spirit's inevitability kicks in. He starts getting the levels up to 25, gets nearer and nearer, and once it arrives, you've got some big problems that you do not have answers for.
The Lifestealer as well, right? I mean, he did get countered on lane pretty hard, and it was a very difficult start for Satanic, but as this game progressed, it looked like it was impossible to fight into this. I mean, this fight here was so beautiful because Team Spirit created a situation out of nowhere essentially, but this is where it started to look really good for Team Vision. This is where it started, even though they lost this fight, where I started to think, oh wow, I don't know how Dire's gonna win this.
Yeah, I mean, if it takes all of this for you to win a team fight, you know the situation isn't really great, because there's only so many times you can have, you know, the Toro, greatest player in the world, probably, do these things. There's only so many times he's going to be able to do it in a team fight. But honestly, like, I think what's really cool here, and we talked about it earlier in this tournament, but the resilience that they show, right? They're getting countered in lanes, they're playing up against all of this pressure, but they're just biding their time. They're trying to contest whatever moments they can find, whatever small opening they can see, and eventually Team Vision managed to find, like, just enough of these, like, trades in these early game fights where the game drags on and Spirit can't close the game out. And that allows them to have a pathway back into the game once Satanic finally finishes up all the items that he needs.
But noticed on that Underlord, to me, was the absolute standout this tournament. I mean, not just this tournament, but this game. I mean, those circles of death that he was dropping in the late game with the refresher, it felt like there was no way to navigate. The way that Team Spirit won that beautiful fight in the triangle, they can't do that when the ground is essentially denied from them. He wouldn't allow them to roam around and look for openings, and that percentage-based damage was really cooking as the game progressed. He held his composure, he found openings, he got that triple kill in the bot lane when Spirit overextended, and he, to me, was the rock for Team Vision.
Yeah, I mean, they made a very specific choice whenever they swapped this Axe to 5 and Undying to offlane. You're saying, hey, our scaling is going to be a little bit worse. We've got a lot of heroes that clump up in one spot, and we've got one Shadow Feed who's going to deal all the damage. And you can see as more and more time passes that there is risk involved in that. You try to tempo them, you got a little sloppy. I think the key word Mira said earlier is trades. You're trading 3 for 3, 2 for 2, 4 for 4. This is not good for you. You need to win quickly. You don't want to be swapping resources back and forth. Vision, the more gold they get, the harder it gets for you, and that is the environment they want to play in.
At the end of the day, there was another level from Vision coming out. They're always able to stem the bleeding in this game, those trades that you guys mentioned. But when it came to being able to take mega creeps, that's the part for me that sort of stands out above the rest, because pushing high ground has always been a big conversation. How do you do it in modern Dota, and how do you do it comfortably? And it wasn't really comfortable for Vision. We saw a couple of times no one roll in on the Earth Spirit, and it feels like they've all in, and now it's a make or break. They end up getting mega creeps because it's Ducalis they put at the front line. This Enchantress, which ends up being such a late game monster in Sania, and you wonder, and how do you start dealing with Ench? Why aren't we sort of looking more towards her, and how Ducalis played her almost seamlessly?
I mean, to be honest, they had pretty decent answers. Like, when the Ench was amped and SF hit her a few times, she just exploded. But luckily, Ninth Class has stolen a Tombstone. And when the Tombstone's next to her, she's sitting next to the Tombstone. So every time SF comes up to hit her, she has the potential of just hiding the Tombstone, and SF has to be scared of any sort of counter initiation, right? Rubik Blink Lift, any sort of roll in with an infested Naix. It's super scary to stand there and try to hit the tomb down. So this steal, honestly, is what secured on the Mega Creep. So huge props to Ninth Class as well for securing that high ground.
Yeah, it shows a lot of in-the-moment presence of mind to be like, we're not going to siege them the typical way. Our carry is not going to hit the high ground. That's not an intuitive thing to do. And so to me, it says they've recovered completely from game one. The nerves are gone. I think especially at the start of this game, you see a little bit of that shakiness still. But as more time passes, they start to win fights. I think they regain that confidence, that belief in themselves. They remember what got us here in the first place. And that is incredible individual skill. It's excellence from all their players. And they show that and they bring it back. I think that is a very hard to do, especially against a team that is as terrifying as Team Spirit is.
Yeah, ultimately, Vision were able to do that for themselves. We see the run-up that, you know, Vision has been throughout the upper bracket here, and they really take it to Spirit. But the early game wasn't necessarily that easy. Again, we talk about it. Spirit getting their hands on this slider was incredibly impactful throughout their TI run too. And this time around, it didn't really feel like it was much different, but Purge is going to give us some more information on how that happened.
Thank you, Nat. Yeah, Laurel had a lot of bad matchups today. Almost every single game that he played, he had to play losing matchups, which made his lane tough. But in this game, he had an incredible performance here. I love how he went for this trade here, leading up to the gank that was coming. He pops his salve, knowing that the gank is about to happen, and he's going to run into this fight low HP, but knowing that no one has no mana. So when Rue ends up rotating here, and they go for this pressure, he's going to get a full healing salve under the threat of enemy heroes, which is crazy. And this TP by 9 class, which was fantastic, but unfortunately for him, he barely killed the Axe, and he ends up giving Laurel a double kill as a result. So Laurel gets to run with this game a little bit, no pun intended, as he TPs at the top lane, sprinting all the way towards No One. Now he lowers the armor here of No One, and what happens next is Nami is going to shoot his Acorn. That's going to bounce a bunch of times, doing a ton of physical damage to No One. So despite after getting killed in the lane for No One, his next immediate rotation was shut down by Laurel as well, due to this great rotation. Now he gets Blink Dagger, he goes to gank the safe lane, very easy ultimate. Blink Crush is tons of physical damage against these supports. They've really got to worry about this. And the next couple of minutes was them basically just controlling the map, not letting their opponents get much done. So what Earth Spirit does is he uses his spells to clear the creep wave, but immediately afterwards, there's Slardar on top of him, stunning him and having huge movement speed, which means very, very easy for him to block the roll here. Laurel just absolutely demolished the mid game. He gave a lot of control for his team, and that allowed the Shadow Fiend, who had tons of net worth, to just stay on top for such a long time in this game. So excellent early game for Team Spirit, but in the end, they didn't win by enough.
Thank you, Purge, breaking it all down. And I love this so much because it really, again, emphasizes just what Vision were able to do for themselves. Not only get a foot back into this game, but to close it out, to become victorious after you see what this slaughter is, what this nuisance of a hero can really push you to, and the limits that you're tested between. And it also gives that little bit of advantage when it comes to a draft, because often teams have been worried about a slaughter. They've had to focus on banning it, and despite slaughter getting off to a fantastic start that Purge showed us there, they were still able to beat it. And now you feel a little less worried about having to ban it, a little bit more confident, and if you guys want to run it, by all means.
Yeah, I think that's such a massive part of how these series go, is not just the actual strength of the heroes, but how they feel. Are you scared of Slardar? When they pick it, how does that make you feel? These are genuinely really important aspects of the game, because now, like you said, when they pick Slardar, maybe you feel like we have answers for it, or we know the scaling's not very good, or this or that, the other. There are so many factors that play into these drafts, and each time you get a win like this, it instills a lot of confidence in you.
I think also in regards to the draft, this Underlord has to have shifted up in priority. And this is a hero Team Spirit were also running, but the way that Notice made it look as a means to hold out the game, to later deny team fights just by just throwing those picks out over and over again, this is the hero to look at, in my opinion, for the next game.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it earlier. He was absolutely a rock for them. I think what's really fascinating, though, is like when we were looking at this draft, it's really hard to see a good carry pick. Like we can't identify what is the hero to slot in here. Traditionally, Nate's is not a very good hero against Slardar and SF, but due to the items that he buys, he goes for Manta, he goes for AC, he goes for Radiance, he buys Armlet, all these items are giving him armor, it's giving him evasion, he's just tanking up and he's buying all the right items, and I feel like recognizing that in the draft and going for a hero that's traditionally not good matchup, but because he buys the right items, he becomes that, is really, really cool.
Yeah, it's a great point, and I think it's a testament to how in Dota sometimes you're almost picking items than you are picking a hero. Like you look at a draft and you know you need certain items. A classic example is like you see their heroes and you know you need a pipe, and so you pick pipe. You pick any hero that can buy naturally in his item build, and I think I totally agree. I think that's sort of what they did this game, and it's ingenious and creative, and I don't know. It speaks to how high level these two teams are, that have the awareness of that. They're not just looking at the matchups on terms of a hero-to-hero basis, but understanding that items can fix those problems. It's very good.
Yeah, it's a statement to say we're gonna choose a weaker lane and win later on in the game, because Lifestealer absolutely had the scaling that game, but that early game was really rough. And while Team Spirit did end up losing it, I think they have to account for the way that the supports rotated and connected to Laurel, the way that the pressure was ongoing on No One. This is 2 games in a row. He's had 4 people in his lane, like minute 8.
Yeah, I think for both sides, this game has like a lot of conversation afterwards. I don't think you walk away as Vision thinking like, oh, this is great, let's just keep doing this. I love being ran out for 20 minutes and just getting absolutely slammed, and will hopefully Satanic will carry us eventually. So from their side, there's that conversation to be had. How do we like secure up our early game? I think for Spirit, because they're able to play so many different styles of Dota, it also is a question of, do we want to continue with this like absolute ramp up,